Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today, Spoon TV. This one you back today, Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon entertainment. Go
A special one from the CEO, stand tongue with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South man. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah.
Okay, folks, I tell you, it's a great way to welcome you from around Liberia and the world over. to another edition of the program Spoon Talk. This is, of course, Liberia's number one most listened to talk show on radio and online. We're here tonight live on Spoon TV, the Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric Radio 101.1.
From the CEO.
Super 95.5 as well. And we also live on Spoon TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and Super TV Live online. And so we want to say welcome to all of you who have joined us tonight. My name is Nelson Collier. And of course, in the back end is James Goode Flomo. I see he's set and ready from that end as well. He's coordinating things from the online aspect. James, let me say good evening to you.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Nelson Kola. And before I begin, let me say happy birthday to you. I guess you celebrating this birthday because I saw a post indicating that the birthday came with a huge beginning, that you got something very thick. I need my share, my man.
Thank you very much, firstly. But the birthday came was huge. It started with a big smile. Yeah. So I mean, it ain't mean anything. That all the thing you're talking about, I know. I know that all the thing you're talking about. I know what kind of thing you're talking about, but not ready. But I'm glad. I'm grateful that I can.
Nelson, when you will stop scheming on us?
Who's scheming on you?
You.
I mean, I'm comedy show here. Let me tell you that.
When you will stop scheming on us?
Listen, James. In the first place, I don't know where you're coming from, but big smart doesn't mean take thing. I don't know where you came from with that take thing.
But something.
No, listen now. Big smart doesn't mean take thing. No. So that whole take thing conversation there, James adding his own spice to the story here, trying to make the story juicy.
What's your definition? And Choco know you to be a very good schemer.
And James, no one takes James seriously because everyone knows James is a comedian.
Enjoy, bro. Very big comedian. Let's celebrate your birthday. We're watching you. Don't worry.
Yeah, man, everyone has a birthday.
The people say you should be grateful.
Oh yeah, I'm grateful indeed. I'm grateful indeed for another birthday. Yeah, that's something I'm grateful for. Yeah.
So how did the day go with you? I'm talking about your personal birthday. Forget about the country first. Let's talk about that.
We'll talk about Liberia on later, eh?
We're celebrating you today, man.
No, today it's just been like work through up, man. Nothing much. Okay. Work. Yeah, true up. As you know, on the drive time, I was on the news. Just few minutes after the news, I had to come up here. Yeah, so and other run around today. But
you live in Atlanta before?
Atlanta? No.
Yeah, USA.
Who's talking about Atlanta? Who's talking about Atlanta, James?
No, I thought you lived in Atlanta before.
I mean, don't bring that other thing here, I beg you. I haven't been to Atlanta before. Yeah. So I mean.
Okay, thank you, bro. Let's move to Liberia. What are some of the training happenings? We're going to continue like this while we are waiting the crew to join us.
Yeah. So a lot of things happening in the country. So many things happening in Liberia right now, but key amongst the things that folks are discussing has to be the recent the dismissal now. Let me say of Councillor Cooper Kura. It actually took
You're talking place. About late yesterday.
So it all started from the weekend, as you know, and since Representative Gray made that post and folks were talking about it, and then the dismissal came up yesterday, and so today has been more of reactions to what the action yesterday, a reaction to the action yesterday. So today, um, Senator Prince Johnson made some comments, some strong comments on that. It was on the Voice of America with James Boyd when he said that they rest in the dismissal of Councillor Cooper Kura, the dismissal of his kingsman, is a political retaliation from President George Weah. So, according to Senator Prince Johnson, President George Weah is retaliating for the everything that he, Senator Prince Johnson, did, not giving his support, breaking ties with him, and so forth. So the dismissal is a political retaliation. That's how he termed it. But on the flip side, the information minister, Ledger Rennie, came up to debunk that strongly. He says anyone who says it's a political retaliation then will be in an error, because according to the information minister, and as you may know, it is in the preview of the president, is part of the presidential powers for the president to appoint and dismiss at his will. um yes, because those people work at his will and pleasure, especially for ministerial positions, directors, and some of those positions that are not tied to tenure. So yeah, so that was the retaliation. So that was a reaction, in fact, from Minister Ledger Rennie to that statement coming from Senator Prince Yelugwe Johnson. So yeah, so that's one. But there has been so many other reactions to that. A lot of people have been giving up their views, but those are just the two major views coming in so far
And
with
a
respect.
major opposition leader reacted to it, like Cummins, Barker, Ure, and so forth.
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge so far. Yeah, not to my knowledge. Yeah. Those are the two major reactions we have to that particular development so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, on the flip side, the former finance minister David Fahar is calling on president is calling on Mr. Benina Ure, uh, Henry Costa, Mr. Costa, and that of Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence to
Mhm.
reconcile their differences. If they must put up a strong fight come October, because according to him, in the midst of the disagreement, the absence of those key individuals from the ceremony or the program that was held on Friday, if those people cannot put aside their differences,
Mhm.
unite, form a strong team that will be able to the battle the unity party politically, they will not get the kind of victory that they all are yearning for. So he's calling for them to put aside their differences, and in order for them to get the victory. And so that's one from the
Yeah,
journalistic.
welcome,
Oh,
Honorable
okay, yeah. Hello,
Dr.
Dr. Richardson.
Nelson.
How you doing, Nelson? Hi, good day. How are you guys doing today?
We are
Yeah,
good.
we okay.
That's good.
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
S-
continue.
Yeah, so okay, yeah. So that was that regarding the those three individuals reconciling their differences. Now on the flip side, the momentum is high. James, as you know, the president of Liberia will be joining the world to celebrate the World Press Freedom Day. So the president of Liberia is rallying journalists to grace the occasion tomorrow. I understand there's going to be a march from the president of Liberia's office to where the program will be held. And so the chairperson for the program here in Liberia, Madam Jenny Falaiwanjua, is calling on journalists to put aside their differences because, as you may be aware, James, there is a case in court as we speak with respect to the recent elections that was held for the president of Liberia, when the both parties had some issues and one of the parties had to go to court. So
Yeah.
that there's still this process. So the chairperson is calling for journalists to put aside their differences and be able to celebrate this day. That this day should, in fact, unite them instead of dividing them. And then um, the civil society organizations and trade union institutions of Liberia uh, is calling for the immediate dismissal of the labor minister, Councillor Charles Gibson.
Oh, why?
Um, according to them, they are, according to them, speaking through their president today, who is Jefferson Nat,
Mhm.
they have some claims. So they say Councillor Gibson is at the forefront of denying public sector's employees, such as the health workers, you have the Teachers Association, and the civil servants from joining the Liberia Labor Congress umbrella organization for all workers in Liberia. They say he's at the forefront of that. And and according to them, if the president does not dismiss Councillor Charles Gibson, the CDC government will pay the price at the ballot box. They are going to rally support they as public sector workers to ensure that they don't give their vote to the CDC come October. Yeah, so that's another thing that's happening. So so far, I mean, those are just a few of the many things happening. Maybe James, you want to come in and maybe add anything to that.
Yes, thank you so much. We waiting for the doctor to come on.
Yeah,
Before
okay, James. I know. Yeah, I know you're gonna come in, but this final one, the voter registration exercise, the BVR, the biometric voter registration, is going on in other parts of the country now. Um, in the remaining 9 counties, the first it was 6 counties, now the remaining 9 counties. But there is this report from Lofa County, expect that especially in Foya district, the machines there they have been reported that those machines have been seriously malfunctioning, something that resulted to a lot of people, especially in the Foya area, working long distances. James, you know, Lofa County and some of those places, to get to a particular center, you have to walk a long distance, leave your farm. Maybe you live way in a bush or what have you. You have to walk to that center. But according to reports, when the people get there, some of those people they spend the entire day just to be told that the system is not working, the system is down, so they'll have to go back. So um, um, the county chapter, the chairperson of the county chapter of the Unity Party today spoke to the press, calling on the National Elections Commission to address the issue as soon as possible because they are getting reports that some citizens of the area want to stage some sort of protest as a way of claiming the attention of the National Elections Commission with respect to that. So, yeah, that's so far as uh, election activity in that part of the country is concerned. Yeah.
Okay,
Kalamama.
Nelson, thank you so much. Good day. You want to chime in?
Basically, I'm told the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been down for about a week, no electricity. For almost 1 week. Yep, somebody from there told me that. And they also said the minister is doing nothing towards it, which has caused many workers to stay home, or when they go to just be roaming around the compound because no electricity to do their work. Then I hope they will be able to solve that problem, but I'm told that has been going on for a while. And the next one is you there. Yesterday press conference, specifically the message that everybody took from Cummins press conference has to do with the village. Nobody talking about the importance of his message. Everyone just talking about the farmer, the old man farmer. I don't know. And I think that is currently the trending political topic in the Liberian social media space. Currently, I think it is the trending topic. everyone talking about that village portion from Mr. Cummins because Cummins team refused to promote other parts of the message and they went with the village. And
Can't be
somebody
Cummins
close
team
to,
refused. You can't say Cummins team refused to promote other parts of the message because you don't know that,
yeah,
right?
but we see the one that is being promoted on social media. If they
So
are
so
promoting it, it is in different space now. But in the media, what we see being promoted by almost all
that's the
communist
thing. Just
propaganda.
because you saw a message on social media, it doesn't mean that
I'm
the
coming.
team.
I'm
When you say
saying
refused, that means that something was they intentionally not.
intentionally Cummins propaganda team took this portion that Cummins said, giving having just one cutlass, in the village, which when you give it to the old person, people will die of hunger. Intentionally, Cummins team, his propaganda team, ran with it on social media. Forget about the part where Cummins talk about the U.S. ambassador statement. Forget about the part Cummins said he don't just want to be president because he wants to be president. He wants to change the system because he believed that the system is not okay. None of those parts were promoted,
You're doing a great job. Keep on talking. Keep on talking the speech. You're doing a great job.
but intentionally, the part that we saw that the promoter, even on the radio, last time Minister Fagon had to even step in, is that part. And that is the part that is trending. It is trending like any other news that you would talk about.
So
Yeah.
you. I mean, you're a smart and intelligent young man learning in a developed country. Do you think that that part of the speech captures everything that was in a speech? If you look at it, the theme of the speech, the gist of the speech,
The theme
doesn't
of the
that part about finding someone who can provide food for Liberia, provide resources? It's a parable. It's not just words. You have to be able to read the words and apply them. And so, to me, you can look at that speech in many ways. You can look at it literally as it is, or you can look at it in terms of its application to our country's problem, the idea of providing food, the idea of finding someone who's competent to provide our country food, to use our resources. We got great farmland, we got good mines, gold in our country, iron ore in our country. We need to find people who are thinking in terms of development for our country to be able to develop our country. So it's not just about somebody going to the farm and using a cutlass. So the cutlass is our tool that we use to develop our country. So I want us to think in an
yes.
expanded way about the speech. So, but
Okay.
thank you for
Yeah, no, you asked
clarifying.
me. I just wanted to talk about that. The specific theme of Cummins' message from my own analysis yesterday was about change. That part of the speech was not even a menu portion of his message yesterday. It was just a stopping point that, when you're talking at time, you have to use analogies sometimes to print or to PowerPoint what you're saying, right? But we talk about framing the last time. We talk about framing here regarding Cummins' message. Exactly, that was what happened yesterday. His supporter, and I did not watch Cummins' press conference. You know the reason why I went back yesterday to listen? The former CEO called me. When he called me, he told me Cummins spoke today. I told him, no, I don't know what Cummins spoke because I was doing something right. He told me go on social media. When I went on social media, the only part I saw trending was that village part. So I had to call some friends. They sent me the video. When I listened to the entire video, I started calling them. I said, but why are you guys making news out of nothing? Cummins said good things in his speech. Why are you guys only carrying this? Because you believe that it is indirectly directed to Boakai. Yeah. So Cummins propaganda team framed that to the extent it came on the show last night. We did not bring any other part besides that part that we play. And when you check the laser, you have chance to see it, right? you're going to see all of the part that are cut. But because that was the major part that everyone was talking about, we have to bring it on.
So no, James, we have to be very careful because you don't know who's intentionally spreading the message. Social media.
They were ANC supporters, tap people in the ANC.
So you believe that ANC persons who were they were just sharing one part of his message. Actually, it doesn't. To me, I think that message is very representative of the speech. You have to get it, and apparently you just didn't get. You're not getting it. So again, you have to understand all of the symbols that were used in that parable to be able to understand the speech. And you're right, there was a lot of things said in the speech, but I believe I can take out, and I'm not even going to, you can see it your way. You have the right to see it your way. The people who on social media, plenty of people myself on social media, I saw people calling him the fixer. That's actually what I saw more of that than the parable in that speech. So I don't, so we can have a debate on who or when or how. But anyway, I'd like to welcome Mr. Fagon to the program. It's good to see you. And I think we're going to go on as well and welcome our audience to the program and make sure that everybody's joining us. Please make sure that you share the show. It is also you Liberians. This is your show. I'm glad to be here with you. So can I just spend some time just welcoming our audience, and then we can proceed with our 2 minutes of what's on your mind. Is that okay with you, Mr. Fagon? Yankwa Inja Maluba, who is here, have some interesting comments to make. You're entitled to your opinion, Yankwa. But find it very funny. Paul M. Jackson is here. Sekou Sese is also here. John K. Wright is here. Thank you. He's watching from New Jersey. Loyi A. Kana is here. Eman Harmon is here. I'm not calling your name in any particular order. I'm just trying to, this is skipping very fast. I'm just trying to make sure that I recognize you. Marcus J. Bopper is also here. Florence Bokar is here. Elmer V. Ketter is also here. Archie Barnard, he says, hello, Spoon family. Tita Miata, I don't get your last name, but thank you for being here. Thomas Paca is here. Thank you for being here. Clarence Zoa is here from Lower Johnsonville. Thank you for coming. Kaka Fale is also here. Kaka, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that are watching. John Kesey is also here. Sia Barton is here. Jerome D. Cassell is here. Thank you so much for being here. Joseph Kokoro is watching us. Tipo PK Dempster is also here. May King Gibson is following us from Minnesota. Isaac Piodo is here watching us. I want to just welcome all of you and thank you for joining us. I hope that you share the show. Please feel free to express yourself in the comment section. We really appreciate you being a part of this show. So I'm going to turn our attention over to Mr. Fagon. Mr. Fagon, how are you doing today? It's good to see you.
I'm trying to be a farmer's son.
That's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that.
But I myself, I am a farmer.
From where now? From Bomi? You are farming Bomi, Artington? Which one? Which one of the people?
I will send pictures to that effect. I own one of the biggest farms in Bapolu.
In Bapolu?
My father went there in 1964. And we traveled hours. Good day, better come by here. You're not going to walk in today.
Yeah. So you are saying your father owned one of the biggest farms in Bapolu?
He went there in 1964. It's called Crawford's Village.
Oh, I gotta go find that place there.
Oh, it's a very nice place. It's a It's a property for 3 brothers. Old man Charles Crawford, old man Balfour
Why that
Farrar.
name sounds so familiar to me?
Yeah, but you know the Crawfords in Monrovia, that's the guy who was the missionary. Actually sent my father to school. So 800 acres of land, it sits there.
That's a lot of land.
I even put a little villa on it. You will eat
Really?
chicken, you will eat bushmeat, you will eat that thing what I have there, man, talking for this selling all the tea. I got picture of pit sawing all around my areas and stuff. So yeah, we all own farms. And so when they talk about this, cutlass, I call my sisters and I say, you're chair for my own. But then the cutlass, we saw, and if you look at Cummins, technically, Cummins said, if you have 1 cutlass, and I love his heart, God, he's a nice guy. He's just cool. He's trying to be there, but then the advisor then can just say they won't, say they won't, say they won't. Now he go talk about the cutlass. He said the only cutlass in the time you get old man, the whole time will be hungry. Yeah, the cutlass there. The people took the cutlass and gave it to young boy. Put a young boy picture over the cutlass. Look at.
Now who's that?
A brush farm.
Now who is that?
Who else but your president, Joey? In B and Doro. You see all the people behind that sitting watching? Now how you get breast like it? Now how you get breast like it?
But they got one way, Mr. Bagon, they got one way to brush farm. They got different techniques.
No, your steak's supposed to be in your left hand. That's why you don't juke under the bush. Then when you juke it under the bush, you take it like this.
Yeah, well, you're coming with it.
I will show you pictures. But then
okay,
we give it to the young boy.
Let me picture the good day. Let me compare the picture of you brushing fine.
I'm coming now. Yeah, you there now. You in Monrovia. Say we get a cutlass to the young boy 6 years ago. The people go for. You know what I feel today? I heard a woman asking you, telling you, Jenna, on the screen, the soup done, sister, the soup done. She didn't know what you are doing. Lobster in the soup. We hear it and we cover it. But then
how you just every time I come there, you talking about lobster? What's going on here?
Because you can come for America. Lobster, country chicken, crawfish, snail.
Yes,
you come and ask your dad how much cholesterol again.
You know the story, huh?
I know about it. I saw it for it too. So the whole idea, yeah, we gave the cutlass to that boy. Young boy, the boy was too young. They gave it to him. 6 years now, no food in the village. Then my brother, my big brother, Cummins said, they will get a cutlass to the old man. People be hungry. So they post it, like we talking about cutlass. They say, if I got your big brother. I said, oh, my people. I said, who's that? They post it, that Cummins your big brother. He talking about cutlass. I said, my boy, forgive my brother. Gaddy said, he not get it. Gaddy, that he talking about cutlass. Gaddy said, all the politicians can talk about going to the farm. I said, Cummins, you don't hear Cummins talk about going to the farm? Cummins not go to the farm. Cummins want everybody to know book. And I play, all be hungry. So, Cummins, JMB, they will work together. They will make that country better. I trust. Whoever win, I will tell you today, if Cummins win, JMB will be the advisor to Cummins. If JMB win, Cummins will be the guy bringing the ideas for all the investors then. So, like, I don't care what we do. The only thing I can tell anybody, I'm sure it, Joe, we are not going back there. What baby show, the last one I will tell you, the people who get a king, they're supposed to crown a king. Where's Saturday? They're not even rushing. Joe, we are not get nothing. Call Samuel to and say, and see she run away. He called Samuel to and say, you don't know they used to call me King Josh? So because they used to call you King Josh, you leave from your country on Tuesday. On a Tuesday, good day, now you let your way be there. On a Tuesday, don't do your hand like that. I'm talking my team. Now you want a good day. Today is a good day. Now, he who now the king, that Remy Graden can support these kind of things. You are not a king of England. The king not even know you. You leave your country on a Tuesday for a program that's supposed to happen way Saturday. And from Liberia, to London is 6 hours by flight. Not 12 hours, just 6. If you go to any other place than your business. But just now, I was talking to my cousin. My cousin said, oh, Jackie, I finish cooking. But where I will start, you call that offensive back. Jackie, I finish cooking. Employee, they're not take pay. Almost 3 months, they can't get a pay. Election commissioner get money for election. The electricity people not getting the 9 million. They put bill in the road, say, they come and put a machine down. You get out, you say, the program what they having for the king. Where's Saturday? That you must go there Tuesday because you need King George. We finish up. Then we say we want to rescue the country. Then people must cancel that in front of us. For what now?
But the president has other meetings to attend before the king's
He told
event.
you, say he went to any other meeting, you saw it there. You
Come
saw
again?
it there. You were taught today, oh. And I tell the people, I say, you can support your way. You say no. You saw it there. He tell you, say, no, don't scratch your head. Joey, I told you, say, went any other place. Jackie, I finish cooking.
Okay.
I finish cooking. That's my own I say.
But Fango, let me ask you this. I think if I still remember the name of your mother, I think her name Mamiata.
No,
You know that-
they say.
I remember the woman. I forgot her name, but
No,
in
you
Bami there.
forgot me, you ask. What do they call me at?
The president has so many things to go do in London.
So I was going to say your Oma and Cummins got mother. They have the same name, but if she's not Miala, that's fine. But do you know how many farmland Cummins got in Liberia? Cummins said he's not going to expose those kinds of investment that he got because of the kind of treacherous regime we have.
Why?
You don't know that?
Also, in fact, Cummins are my brother. I will not talk about Cummins.
So let me because you know anytime you talk and nobody reports, the audience feel that it's true.
There's something you say.
Then if that is the case, it means Cummins is hiding something.
You don't have it.
Why you can't hide under the kind of regime you good at the regime you got?
So you can tell
that you going to go
something. What is it that Cummins is hiding from the people of Liberia?
Cummins does not want people to be affected when he's doing business. That's all. Because you know what? Other people get affected when they know that you represent the opposition. Let me tell you, the regime guy is a bad regime, though.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Wait.
Oh, that's okay.
See, let me show you one trick.
Okay.
In a debate, you can let people escape. So what's the difference with the Coca-Cola school? Why you saw that one?
Why
the Coca-Cola school?
Yeah.
But why is this here about the Coca-Cola school? It said it's under its foundation.
No.
The farmland, the garden, I mean the farmland, it's an investment.
You want to spoil my people away? I will not lie.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Cummins got no investment.
Okay, you know what? Let me look for some of Cummins.
No investment in the country.
Let me look for someone a farm and send it to you good so you can put it up, yeah?
No, I'm not saying.
I don't want to show investment. Don't show nothing yet.
Yeah,
why not?
I want to say something. My point here is Cummins. Mr. Cummins is not just an ordinary individual in Liberia, right? He wants to be president of the country. According to you, allegedly he has investment that he's,
that he doesn't want to expose.
Yeah, that he doesn't want to expose. Or he put people ahead of them. It is for them. But in the back, he's the owner. That is terrible. A man who wants to be
that's terrible. They call it fronty.
I'm coming now. Let me finish now.
People do different topic. We're going to different topic.
No, I will talk. Now because you have Cummins called you last night, you don't want me to finish.
Cummins can never call me. I'm a dedicated revolutionary for
the former CEO told me. He told me that Cummins call you.
So,
If the day
let me
Cummins
just
call me
tell
here,
you
like,
something.
the day Cummins call me,
Let
Cummins
me-
will get 20 pounds on a body, you get fat.
Let me just say
Because
something.
how
Okay?
he satisfied that me and him.
I really wanted to conclude my conversation.
Without concluding,
Well-
to different topic. Opposition don't
So,
exert
I
their
mean,
position.
after you are done, because
No,
Okay, go ahead.
No, opposition can't attack opposition.
I am not opposition.
Okay, you CDC. I'm ready for you now. Let go.
I am not opposition. I am not CDC.
no, let Good Day finish, because I'm not getting what Good Day is saying, but let him finish.
So I'm saying Cummins wants to be president of Liberia. And
Yeah, we heard that part.
at this stage, he has businesses that we should know about to say, oh, this man wants to be president of our country. These are his investments. But though it is legal for people do it around the world, right? But as per his status in our country, he's hiding these things from us because of what he believes may be somehow for him. Maybe somebody would say he don't want to pay high taxes or so forth. Why Cummins hiding his investment when he wants to represent the country? Why Cummins cannot come up? Cummins has other businesses in Liberia that I know that are running, but government is not closing them down. Benina Ure has businesses running, government is not touching them. Boakai has businesses in Liberia running, government is not touching them. They are all
James
running
Goodday.
and coming, and people
Benina
are
Ure and Cummins are not the same.
Why only Cummins?
Let me finish and then we'll
I'm coming. Cummins who finished.
Up now, because don't. Yes.
I'm concluding. Cummins who ended up, if we're looking at the ranking of even the past election, he's not a major opposition leaders. He's one of the major opposition leaders. He's not the lone opposition leader in Liberia. All those opposition folks are doing businesses, including his chairman, Musa Hassan Bedete. He has businesses throughout Liberia running. Government has never wanted to close that down. Why Cummins hiding his investment from the people he wants to represent? That's not being fair.
Can I answer?
No. Go ahead now. Answer.
Answer is 10 seconds. James,
go ahead.
The armed robber, they plenty in the country. Can we move on now?
See, my answer actually to that is, James, I think you are accustomed to people bragging and showing off what they have. That's what it appears. And you know, there's many people who are that way. But there are some people who are very humble. They don't care to be talking about, you know, what they own or the property that they have, because they feel blessed, you know, that God has given them, you know, knowledge and also the ability to acquire properties. So in his case, I would think that is the case. It's not that he's hiding anything, but he will not be braggadocious, go around, oh, you know who I am, I own this property.
What kind of people that give braggadocious? Man, Fatu, I know you're here in it. You're all what it is.
So let me just say, but he does tell you that in order for our country to move forward, when he is elected, people will be declaring their assets. Okay? And when he does, when he does, it's going to be an open public information. And
you know what
so
I'm
because
no. As soon as Cummins say I own 800 acres, you know like Brentford, you don't pretend yeah.
Oh, don't mind
all the time you've been talking, you not tell that you think when if that's steal, you want steal.
No, like people won't say that. You know, it's
but you not get it before you become president.
I'm
happy to George Weah. George Weah never show a nothing. So he became president. He put us 16 horses. When
and Weah was building up buildings.
We heard he was a millionaire and he was all over the place.
Good day. When it comes to farming, like a man passion, that man got more than 3 different farmlands. You don't have to. You don't have to. He's not a kind.
We have to.
You know the housing sinker. The reason you can see those two towers, that because they're in the sky. But Cummins, if you are left over here alone, it will not expose it.
That's a fact.
So the point is, Cummins has all the businesses and investment. I even know of his luxurious home that he's building in Marshall. I know the place, right?
Do you hear him talk about it?
I'm coming.
No.
You don't know Liberia. Our society is a gullible society.
You say I don't know Liberia?
President Weah.
That's a different story, James.
I'm ending. Those buildings are here. People say we are building in 9 months. President Weah started building them.
And not true.
I'm telling you that I went there before.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
You don't
under the Madam Salif administration, Weah was not building anything in Liberia.
So this is why I said you don't have to
Weah
agree
was
with
building.
me. President Weah.
Weah had 2 buildings that I know. 2.
Now you know, but everybody knows from Peaceville.
But that's the problem. When there's certain people know certain information, so we can't come
We
here.
had 2 billion and the one that honestly was building a store. It was building a store that it could not even complete.
That's the same issue with Cummins. You know that he has investment.
Not only me. Cummins will always tell you he does not like for people to talk what he has done and what he has. That's his choice. He wants that privacy to be respected.
Okay, if that's a privacy that needs to be respected, then what would you say about the other people who not privacy?
Yeah.
No. What I'm trying to say is this.
In power.
When it's coming, if he gets on, he will have to declare his asset. You know he has declared asset before? Go back and look at his asset. He has declared asset before. The last election when he ran, he declared his asset.
Let me pray.
Now the first thing we got to discuss today. Nothing I go you.
What can you go where? You know the time that
somebody
on the clock.
You say, oh, enter the pepper soup ready. Oh, you think I can understand my brain English? Enter the pepper soup ready. Oh, she look at the woman like this. She want to tell the woman go. She want to tell the woman go. Then she say, you're shaking your head.
You can see too much. That's why, too much. That's the problem.
I told you just now. I said, Jackie, I say the food done. Your president sold to go straight to London. They play your president gone with your money. And that's my business. That he will come and explain. The king get a coronation. Your president leave you there in the country. Hungry. They put the food on the table right now. You can see it. The food in brown bowl.
So there's a couple of things on Front Page Africa that I wanted us to explore. And the first thing that I'm seeing here is what the current Minister of Finance and Development, Samuel Tweed, debunks report of his resignation from the CDC-led government. So why I said that we as Liberians were very concerned about his resignation, and he had to come back and say, oh no, that's not true. The people telling Germany. So where did the rumor come from? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Fagan, and then I'm going to go on to James Goodday, and then I'm going to go on to Remy Gray, and then we're going to go to Fadiga. Fadiga, welcome to the show. It's good to see you guys. So again, we're talking about Finance Minister Tweed. He wants to dispel rumors of him resigning from his position due to differences with the president after reportedly he refused to provide $200,000 for the just ended cabinet retreat in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. And I'm reading strictly from the Front Page Africa. So when we didn't see Mr. Tweed, and everybody started making assumptions, but now he's saying all of that is untrue. He said he was in Abuja, Nigeria, attending an African Development Bank meeting while the cabinet retreat was ongoing in Buchanan. He said that the reports and rumors about my resignation as Minister of Finance and Development Planning are just bogus. They are all gimmicks and lies I have confronted as minister since 2018. He said, oh, the people been lying on him since 2018. Oh, y'all talking, why you be lying on the man since 2018? Fagon, my question to you, why do you think people will be telling story on Minister Tweed? And he said he was attending an African Development Bank meeting. Do you know anything about that meeting? Was that in the interest of Liberians? what contributed to this fake news that we're hearing about Samuel Tue?
First of all, Samuel Tue is a notorious pathological liar. And if anybody wants to debate that, we can start with the 50 billion carbon. We can start with the Langley story. We can now look at harmonization. So he has a track record of lying to the people. But having said that, that does not give an excuse for the question you asked and how it should be answered. There is no way the African Development Bank will have a meeting immediately a day after the spring meeting, because they too are contributing partners to the spring meeting. Samuel Tue came for the spring meeting. The spring meeting was over. Samuel Tue does not work for the African Development Bank. That does not mean that as finance minister, he cannot attend a meeting there. But there was no such thing. It's not on their website. We've already checked it. He's lying.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you.
So number two, you went to Ivory Coast and you spent a week. Were you there for 7 days meeting? And the Liberian government people didn't know. Samuel Tue has his family. He has a home in the Ivory Coast. And Samuel Tue knows that. When the French were tracking him, we know the story. For huge sums of money that were being laundered by flight to Abidjan. So it's like a home away from home. I challenge anybody to tell me that Samuel Tue does not have a home in Abidjan and his family does not reside there. Then we have a debate. But when Samuel Tue left the spring meeting, every time Samuel Tue came to the spring meeting, Samuel Tue went back home with something. This time around, don't know what happened, but for me, I know. The majority of the donors told Samuel Tue, as well as the partners, they said to Tue, you can't weigh 14 million and come here to beg for 20 million. It doesn't make sense. So they free him up. He went to hustle with the African Development Bank. They free him up. And so the UNITY left. He went up to lobby with them for the road fund to borrow the 40 million against the road fund. And he had challenges with that. To make matters worse, the president had taken over 200,000 for this London trip. Then he requested another 200,000 plus for the cabinet meeting. And so Tue got upset. Tue said the cabinet meeting should not go on. But I told you, yeah, the president insisted on Sunday. On Monday morning, the president left. But before then, from sources within the president compound, I broke the news to the Liberian people. He told Tue he got to be here by Saturday night, later Sunday night. Tue said, no, I can't make it because this is what I'm doing, trying to get this money. He said, no, Tue should come. Tue got annoyed. Tue said, okay, then, Chief, do what you want to do. And so he said, okay. And he threatened Tue that he was going to do what he was supposed to do. So Monday morning, he went to Buchanan. Everybody saw the video. Tue actually wrote the letter. Because you see, in George Weah government, resign before they fire you. As soon as you get a tip, resign. I know plenty of people who did it. Gregory did it. Even the board that comes here, they just did it. Everybody does it. Because if you don't, he will fire you. Copper Cra was told to resign. He did not. You are muted. So again, when that letter pushed around, the president was convinced. His pressure went high. But again, they talked things over, and that's how Tue spent the 1 week trying to hustle the money, and then Tue came. Now, why I put a picture, you are very Tue. That LFA something, look at the picture, Tue. Way beyond Zoga. Tue, why can stay inside the president? They don't let him stand there side again. They put him way beyond Zogasa. But they've made fences, but they're still having rough ties. You know, the president can call a speech. So he and Tua only a few days. Now all I can say, I can see all work.
Okay, thank you, Fagon. I'm gonna go on to Good Day. I know you're eager to.
So actually, I wanted to say, if the government does not tell her story, the press will tell the one they know. Could they know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you will come now to answer, and then you will have to explain what you know.
That's speculation in journalism.
Yes. They will speculate, but then it will force you to come out
to say the truth
or correct. And that's what he did.
Yeah. But basically, you know, it's like I read a story and say, Paul died, and then Paul comes out to say, I did not die. Then I say, I stand by my story. That the same thing happening between Tua and the media. Paul said, but let me hear, I did not die. And then for me to come back and rewrite, I said, no, I stand by my story. But the African Development Bank annual meeting will be between the 22nd of May to the 26th, and it will be taking place in Egypt.
Who tell you to talk here now? You might can have your friend Small said James.
No, I just want to say that.
Yeah, but the man lied at that. Just save the man.
But you know, according to Front Page Africa, James, he didn't say he was going to the annual African Development Bank.
Okay, so maybe that was another meeting.
Okay, so he just said that he was Front Page Africa gathered that Mr. Tua was in Abuja, Nigeria, attending an African Development Bank meeting.
I said the man was in Ivory sister.
But the meeting the African Bank has to undergo for this year has to do with their annual meeting, and that will be taking place in Egypt, and it will start on the 22nd of May to the 26th of May. That's the time. And the theme of that meeting, they are going to specifically be looking at the private sector. How to engage the private sector and elevate them. So maybe there was emergency meeting that they are yet to upload the outcome. I can't speak to that. Maybe they call few finance ministers around Africa to just meet with them. I can't speak to that because they are yet to upload anything of such. It's possible he did. But again, it is too early. So I don't want to say anything. Because
I said it, man. We have mutual friends. Yeah. Just as we are talking here, we talk to each other. Yeah. Oh, my man, where you at? In Abidjan. I will Tua. We got mutual friends. He was in Abidjan. He ain't go no Nigeria nowhere. In fact, the picture you got there, put it up with the son that they post here. Yeah, the meeting are where he from. They're not Jordan, the man was in Abidjan. But the man got mess.
So we're having different messages coming into us. You know, message from Wagons and Tua's mutual friend. Message from Good Day, who's telling us that he went on the African Development
Bank. On your screen. Look at yourself.
And yes, exactly. Thank you. And they are scheduled to have an annual meeting later on in May. And then Front Page Africa is telling us that you know, they learned that he was at an African Development Bank meeting while the cabinet retreat was going on. So my question to you, Remy Gray, is, you know, even if he were to attend a meeting with the African Development Bank, do you think he owes to the Liberian people to at least share with us what discussion was held, the nature of discussion that was held at the meeting? Because in the end, he lets us know that the minister is still in charge of the country's economic management team. So what are your thoughts on at least knowing what the meeting was about?
Well, I think firstly, this entire story sounds very trivial to me. I don't power off. I don't tend to pick the substance from the speculative reporting that Front Page are engaged into. What was the essence of this? I think there's some amount of excitement people are trying to create that Mr. Tuepali abandoned the president in mid crisis. The civil servants are owed arrears, and also they have cabinet retreat. They have this. They have all kinds of financial hoodlums. I mean hurdles that hanging over this government. So Liberia is a country of speculation, and we love to run the rumors. And I still trying to see the substance in this. Yes, you travel. Yes, you abandon the president. Yes, you tender in your resignation. Good day said it. I stand by my story. But what is really in this? Nothing but dog whistle. I think the president himself, um, this is crisis. He's all over the place looking for money, and he's been going to few sources over and over and over and over again. It's like, it's too much now. Like people say, you know what? If you have one creditor, madam, every now and then when you jam, you go there. Every now and then you jam and you don't pay, or maybe you just pay the minimum, which is the interest, and then you jam, you go there again. That means they're compiling. I think eventually they're saying, now you know what? We don't have it anymore. Go someplace else. So maybe you just decided to say, well, let me take this time up with my family, and but definitely I don't see any substance in this, so I don't even want to. But the meeting that was going on up in the place there, I think I understand people send delegates there to go and sit in and listen. Of course, he was not around there, from what I heard. But the Minister of Finance means nothing these days because you know what? He's just another errand guy looking for extra sources to credit. They don't have the means to to raise funds other than going to go ask Fangon for money. And Fangon Bank going job, man, you alone on the creditor list that just your name there. Fangon will say, man, I'm tired, man. Go someplace else. I think that's what this is.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying, Remy Gray. I also want to go back to, I want to go back now to Fadiga. Fadiga, when the Minister of Finance is missing from a major meeting, a retreat, he's actually holds the country's coffer, and we didn't see him at the retreat. Does it concern you that he wasn't there to actually give us a report as to how we doing in terms of financially in our country? And also, James Goodale just reported to us again. I don't know how true this is, but I'll just say James Goodale was the source. He said the foreign ministry doesn't have any electricity. So I think if the finance minister was there, at least we could have at least gotten some kind of updated report on the status of the country's finances. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me just piggyback on what Remy was just saying. Look, this government, nothing surprises me anymore. But one thing I kind of disagree with Remy on is that in Liberia, everything is an open secret. Even things that goes on in the president payroll. When Liberian men tell you gossip, don't worry. Even if no true, they say where there is smoke, there is fire. And that statement holds true in Liberia. Wherever Liberian men give you a rumor, if it's not 100%, something around there happened. Something happened because we talk. Everything, down to what goes on in the president's bedroom, is out in the public. Somebody would tell somebody, something. So these things didn't come out of the blue. It came from some source. And it keeps spraying, and then probably it became misinformation. But I think there is some truth to some of these rumors that we are hearing. And how do we know it? Based on everything that we are seeing happening. The abrupt departure from the meeting that it went to. Everything. It's just like the Madam Scott case. When two people that are supposed to be innocent started acting funny and create that suspicion. It's almost the same thing too. what we are seeing here, I think is concerning, but again, this is a government that nothing surprises me. These are people that refuse to play by the rules. These are people that, within the last 6 years, we have not attracted any foreign direct investment. Within the last 6 years, everything seems to be dissipating before our eyes, and rapidly. They came, they harmonized, and did whatever they did there, and it seems to be getting away with impunity. So I think I think the whole regime is kind of crumbling. That's what I'm seeing. I'm getting that sense that the CDC is kind of slowly disintegrating, and the final straw will be on October 10th. This is a very good opportunity for the opposition to play the game well, get together and remove this thing and save the nation. Imagine, when you want to kill a snake, don't beat it on the tail, beat it on the head. If we beat this snake on the tail, the biting it will do it for the next 6 years. I'm telling you, you even see that one early or St. Charlie Quintan, the basketball can say, you don't see it. So I think I believe even if it's not totally true, there is some truth to the story, especially when it comes to Liberia. Don't believe whenever there is smoke, there is some fire to stories in Liberia.
Yes, thank you for your thoughts, Fadiga and Ray. Good day, and Fakon. My only concern about this is when it comes to the country's finance. I believe that a major meeting such as the final retreat for this government should have had the finance minister present to present the status of the country's finance to the government.
Oh, did they happy? Did they happy? In the left, the meeting did not happen, right? I think they left. They said the president. Remember the video that the president was falling down?
Yeah, but we didn't know how this meeting was going to end. So the fact that
we didn't know,
yes, I'm under the assumption that they call a retreat for everybody to give a summary report of their function in their various capacity. Okay, which is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I think
you think that retreat they went to. I think the man want to bluff the Basel people. Honestly, everything is political to this man. Seriously. What kind of serious retreat the man when he stayed 2 days, he fall down and bring him back to the city? And they say the man can be moving with Moa. That the one can be in the governor. They call it Moa in Liberia.
Yeah,
they how they call it? The like water.
Oh, I thought I was champagne. We're talking. Okay.
No, the Moa, the one Mediterranean retired corner. Okay. How they call that thing?
All right. Okay. So actually,
it's called APC. I'm a personal carrier.
Hey, see, both people didn't know how to squat it.
That's the champagne that you're talking. Anyway, so to me, that's the important thing about it. Just having his presence, at the meeting would have been very helpful for Liberians to know the state of their money and, where is Liberia, where are they going to leave the government cover when they turn over the government, or if they, should tell us what have they done in the past couple of years. Financially, like you said, no investment came in. Are they making any progress towards bringing in companies into the country? What's the state of the revenues that they have collected? And all of those things I would have liked to know, how consistent are they with the budget in terms of allocating money and money that they didn't allocate? All of those things I would have liked to know. Anyway, let's move on to another interesting story. There's something that's popping up in Liberia here. And this is the President Weah replaces Councillor Cooper Kra as Post and Telecom Minister after he attended opposition political rally. What do you guys think? There's many views. This been on the radio in the morning. Was the president right to relieve him of his duty? Should he have just resigned? So I want to know your views on this, and I'm sure Liberians are eager to hear your thoughts on should Councillor Cooper Kra stay in his position, resign, or be relieved by the president? So Fakwan, what are your thoughts on this? You started to talk about this a little bit and I interrupted you.
Let me, because I want to give something to James Kude that came from the Deputy Minister for Technical Affairs. So I want to see to one of the guys, give it to Kude, and then I will come back to take that person place and give you my thought if you don't mind.
Okay. All right. Thank you. James, good day. What are your thoughts on Councillor Cooper Cra? Oh, okay. You're working on that. I'm going to go to you, Mr. Gray. Can you tell me your thoughts?
Well, I know there are certain standing rules against attending political rally when you are cabinet minister. Unfortunately for this government, those good governance rule, of course, are not being followed. Because I remember when Brownie Samukai and two other ministers attended, I think it was a UP rally as sitting ministers. It was these folks were in opposition by then, and they raised loud alarm about that. And because some of these rules, of course, the code of conduct frowns upon you being in your capacity as a cabinet minister attending any political rally. But in this case, let's not forget that Prince Johnson's party, which Cooper Cry is a part of, has not endorsed the presidency or the re-election of Mr. Weah. So there's bad blood in there. And of course, they're seeing that PYJ also has seeded the organization or the political party that was part of the ruling establishment to, of course, the lending support to UP. So all of these kinds of things, this is just a displaced aggression, what we call in philosophical term, instinct of thanatos. In other words, you're pushing you're angry about something, or your anger is displaced at certain things, and so therefore you vent in frustration. I mean, it's like your husband or wife made you mad at home, then you go to work, you start taking it on your fellow workmates. So in this case, I can guarantee you that, of course, Mr. Weir is not going to be happy with Cooper Cra. They brought in somebody just, they're still trying to play with this NIMBA, NIMBA votes. And it's a fine thread, needle to thread, or it's a fine line to walk, because they don't want to anger the people, so they will replace Cooper with somebody else. But in essence, it wasn't the attendance of that meeting per se. This was a direct affront against the MDR, which has sort of ceded its support to the Unity Party because of the appointment of Mr. Kuhn, or Senator Kuhn. So this is all part of it. Politics is real. People don't hide their feelings anymore. And probably they are using now the guy that replaced him to sort of use him as the conduit to be able to get back to that NIMBA vote. This is important for them. I mean, they're looking at power slipping out of their hands eventually, and I don't think they'll just let it go easily. So they're going to come back with a tentacle. But, imagine when you release the rod from a distance, it doesn't strike too hard like if it's closer. Cooper Cra is in the circle of the NIMBA vote. So if you let him go, of course, there'll be some bad blood. It's like they're making the situation worse. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you, Remy Gray. Mr. Fadiga, so my question to you, Fadiga, and then we'll go back to Honorable Bako. So do you think Cooper should have just resigned from the administration as opposed to staying in the administration and having the president relieve him of his position?
I think he did the right thing. I think he shouldn't have resigned. Look, let's not forget how Councillor Kura came to this position. He came there through the marriage between the MDR and his coalition. So that was his share of the bounty. When it came time to share the bounty, that's what he got. And when it seemed like the both are not aligned anymore, and Prince Johnson is going another direction, they've been trying to remove him as a means of pressurizing him, Senator Johnson, to go back to them. And I think it's a failed strategy. I think Mr. Kura did the right thing. Councilor Kura did the right thing by staying, let everybody know, hey, you fired the guy from Nima County. And he's a permanent son of Nima. Cooper Kura been around for a long time. So he's not a new guy on the block. So I think we are yet to see if it will affect them in October. But for some of us that are watching this and have seen this gameplay in the past, I think it's going to affect them. The notion that you have to fight. Look, the government has the most to lose. And let me just take this one. I heard someone saying, "Oh, why the president fired?" Yes, the president has the right to fire him. That's his right. When you serve as the will and pleasure of the president, that means you have to be loyal to him. I mean, whatever it is, you have to carry on the president agenda, his priorities. You are required to defend it without question. That's what it means. It is clear. There is no ambiguity to that law. Even in America, it happened. Even in the US, it happened. But there are some other separate laws that protect individual, and we don't want to get into that. So I think Councilor Kua did it, and it shows the pettiness of the president. I think that one of the things it brought out, it shows how petty the president can be. Madam Seti wouldn't have done that. Madam Seti reached across the aisle. She brought people from all walks of life. She had a rainbow government. And one of the strengths that I think made her to serve for 12 years uninterrupted, unimpeded. So from what I'm seeing, this is the last straw that broke the camel back for this government. I think they are just trying to grab on whatever. If you look at what the president did recently, he made some appointment. If you look at those appointments, before we thought it was Southeastern something, he went way, way extreme with the one. He went beyond extreme. So it's like, I'm just going to put my own people there. But we have been down this road before. And the more you go extreme, it creates room for us to revert back to where we were in 1990. I'm not going to preach war on something, but we know what can happen when one group of people decide to go extreme. That sentiment that can come in the country, that sentiment can be felt. We saw it. I know my parents. I know we would pay the American bags when they were cutting some of our people their money. I remember when, I don't want to go back to that side of our history, but we are seeing this coming back slowly and slowly. This is a man that refused, that stuck the country and think that it's a CDC nation, that if you don't take blood oath under the sycamore tree, you cannot be part of this government, and that this thing is, they are the only men with balls in the country, and everybody else, don't stand a chance. This is what happened. So now they're looking for loyalists, building team of more loyalists rather than bringing people together. They're trying to build a fortress of loyalists, thinking that it will withstand the tsunami that is coming to take over this country. I don't think they can stay. They are just the last straw that broke the camera back.
Thank you, Fadiga. I want to go back to you, Mr. Fagon. Do you think that he should have just resigned from this administration? And I'm going to play a devil's advocate here, as I usually do sometimes. If you don't like a government and its policy, and you like to get rid of the government, which is what the Unity Party is trying to do, get rid of the government, why not just resign from the government? Why serve the government? Why serve the government and wait until you go to the rally and then be relieved of the position?
I don't think it's why serve the government. He's a Liberian. He wants to serve his country. And if given the opportunity, he has that right. under Article 18. I think where it becomes tricky is the fact that Article 56 gives the president the right to hire somebody and to allow the person to serve at his will and pleasure.
Correct.
But Article 18 gives Cooper the right not only to serve his country, but not to be fired for political reasons. But the president, in his letter of dismissal, did not say, I'm firing him because of this. But his deputy minister for technical affairs came out and said, quote, and I put it in the chat room. There it is. He said, but when he took it as far as going to a rally and cheering on another presidential aspirant who's intending to replace the man in whose cabinet he served,
exactly,
he was telling the world he believes that candidate alternative vision for the country. Correct. Should have therefore done the honorable thing and tender his resignation. Now, clearly it's indicated there. But he goes on down.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if there didn't be an action taken, the president would have inadvertently undermined presidential authority. That part tells you again, the whole thing I put in there clearly tells you, if you read the whole thing is in the chat room, he gives explicit reason why the man was fired. And it was political. You do not fire somebody for political reasons simply because they disagree with you. I don't think it's fair. Now, when this man was hired, he was hired as chairman of the MDR. Yes, the MDR pulled out. But are you saying that you cannot hire an MDR person? That the people you hire can only come from your party?
Don't forget, what he had librarian.
Yeah.
Librarian, just move the MDR.
If you don't support me, then you can't be working in my government. I think that was dumb on behalf of the president. And I say that with compassion. And the reason is clear. It was dumb in that the president worked for Madam Salif as political leader of the CDC. He was the peace ambassador and he had his own budget. Eugene Nangbe from CDC worked for President Salif. Nathaniel McGill worked as assistant minister for President Salif. President Salif hired all of them. But she did not fire them when they were carrying caskets, when they were burning tires.
You're making a point.
When they were, what they call, even herself. They didn't fire him. So why you fire somebody? Because they belong to an MDR that does not support you. And what did you expect of a chairman of a party to stay behind when one of the members of his party is being picked as vice presidential candidate? I think that was a dumb move on behalf of the president. And I think he will live to regret it, that he has shared on the Liberian people that you are either in his party or no job for you.
Okay.
You make a, I'm sorry, good day. You wanted to come in?
Oh yeah, if you read it from.
So you can't do that.
I was going to say, Savon, you make an excellent point in terms of his right to work for Liberia, not necessarily a person, and also his right to attend a political rally because he cannot be fired for political reasons, as you stated. But if you disagree, again, if you disagree with the practice of this particular government, and this is where I'm having a little bit of a struggle with, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't believe in the practice of the government. You resigned, okay? You resigned. You don't believe in the practice of the government. You don't believe in their accomplishments, their ideology. My question is, why stay? Why stay in such a government?
Well, government is not a building or an institution for a particular reason. Government is big. You may not agree with the government policies on certain issues, but that does not negate the fact that as a telecommunications expert, you will sit down on your talent and professionalism and let the whole country suffer.
Correct.
A corporate crab is a professional when it comes to telecommunication. He is. And so staying there was to lend his support. So the issue of why stay there? Okay, the doctors don't agree with the president's policy. Should they leave the hospitals? The mechanics don't agree. Should they leave the garages, government garages? The soldiers don't agree. Should they leave the barracks? Government is big. But the fact that I don't agree with you does not mean I can't work with you.
Mm-hmm.
However, again, that was a dumb move by the president.
Yeah, I see, and thanks for
I'm
adding.
not saying he's not right. Article 56 gave him the right.
Yes.
But being right is not the same as expedient.
Yes.
So it is not expedient to do. It may be legal, but not expedient to do.
Yes. Thank you. And we're going to go to James. Good day. But I like your clarification on the fact that government is huge. And if you have a certain expertise to offer to the government, in his case, it appears like he does. And so maybe that's your focus, can be your expertise, wanting a better postal and telecommunication system for our country versus paying attention to all of the, the political ideology.
And because the beneficiaries are the ordinary people.
Correct.
That's why you see Cummins is coming.
So you're looking at both.
I can bring investors. I can do this. I want to help. That's why he himself is coming. That is why Joe Quaka is coming.
Correct.
They want to help.
Correct. Okay. That makes sense a little bit. Yes. Good day. Please come in.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I want to first start with the Unity Party Minister Fagon reference Eugene Nagbe. If we thoroughly look at Eugene Nagbe, at the time he was working in the Unity Party administration, his entire loyalty was to the Unity Party. In fact, it came a time that he had to really join the party. Eugene really had to join the Unity Party.
Eugene was Secretary General of the party at the time.
I mean, he was with the CDC. But when he was working, Eugene later joined the Unity Party.
Yeah, he became Secretary General.
He still had a job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
they fired him because he was working.
I'm coming.
The president. I remember the president.
Okay, let's protect James now. Let that good day finish his comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my point is, when Eugene was working in the Unity Party administration, he was a member of the CDC. But it came a time he had to cross carpet to the Unity Party because at the time he needed his entire loyalty to be to the Unity Party. But let's go to Minister Cooper Crow. When he was working in the CDC administration, he was also party chairman. They did not fire him. He won that position. They did not fire him. Senator Prince Johnson withdrew his party support from the CDC. They did not fire Cooper Crow. Senator Prince Johnson went on to, use whatever language he had to use, and they had this word for, this word of word. And he and the president, they did not fire him. What happened? He attended a political rally of another presidential aspirant. The Constitution did not define to say the way and pleasure of the president is this, is that. Maybe the president had this plan to fire this minister, or it was due to this that they fired him. So if we want to tie into political reasons, why they did not fire him at the time his party, when he was party chair, when they withdrew their support, when they attacked the presidency, why they did not fire him. So to me, I cannot absolutely say he was fired because of political reason, because the Constitution left us in this dark that the way and pleasure, meaning the president can go to bed today, he wake up, if he's not satisfied with me, he will fire me. The president walking his thumb his toes, he will fire me anytime. So just looking at people who working from past administration, like the former minister McGill was not really at the top at the time, but one of those people who really went after Ellen. At the end, they were forced to join Ellen in order to maintain their job, using how to join Ellen. And when Ellen was leaving, using how to come back to the CDC. That is why today you see using. So using how to jump here and here. That is what happened. I was in Liberia when he was youth and sports minister until we came in. So I was there. I followed the development of Eugene, leaving from the Unity Party, from the CDC to the Unity Party to CDC. I saw everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say something to that? Can I make some correction? I think I know a little bit of this thing. Eugene did not just go back to the CDC. We followed the election 2017 when all those political maneuvering were going on. There were few individuals that were part of the arrangement that had to be transferred over. I think Mirabel went. There were a few other ministers that went along with Eugene Namwe, and they just got grandfathered in with the new administration. They never left their position. They just went there. It was kind of strange, but we all knew because it was not a secret in Liberia anymore who Madam Sedif wanted to turn over the country with. To say what you want, we know what we were listening to at that time, and it's been glaring. Nobody had ever persecuted. So those looking for facts, you can just look at the government in action for the last 6 years with everything that they were complaining about corruption and something. Look what they did. They didn't do nothing about it for the last 6 years. So either there were no corruption on Madam Sedif, or Georgia refused to do anything. The fact that they didn't do anything, I can safely assume that 6 years later, there was no corruption on Sedif, even though we know there were some other things that went on. But Eugene did not just go back. It was grandfather in through the Sedif arrangement. But like you regularly said, the will and pleasure of the president means that you have to coup. One of the things that this thing does to the president is that it shows pettiness. You cannot be that petty as a president. Honestly, this thing that happened, it was something that they wanted to do long time. The Cooper Crow was not only the only person that they threatened. They threatened other members of the MDR that were deputy ministers to different places around. They were threatened that they would fire them. It started with the fight. Once that fight started with Prince Johnson, I think the president should have shown political maturity by leaving those people to leave at their position. It would have served him well in Nima County. The fact that he went all extreme, I think Nima County will pay him back in October.
I wanted to just chime in a little bit, just 1 second here. I remember when the defense minister, and of course the chief of police, when they had that recording with Ellen Cochran. Yes. These are the tests that you bring upon maturity in the leadership of an individual. In spite of this kinds of situation where you see someone as a betrayer, in this case they're calling Cooper Carr a traitor, because he went to, as hierarchy of his party, went to attend a party ceremony. But again, these are the test of time that people can withstand for an entire look. That could have changed certain mind in Nimba when you say, this president is extremely confused about where his next vote is going to come from big. and he was counting on Nimba, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. They're panicking now. They don't even know how to control that situation. So as a result, any way they can get back at certain people, thinking that this fight should not be about certain people. This fight should be appealing to the hearts and minds of other constituents within the county that can probably look at you for who you are and just cast their vote. But when you take the fight directly to them, then it becomes a county situation, us versus them. This was exactly how those started losing Nimba County until it slipped out of their hands, and we ended up with a brutal civil war. But this is not going to bring us civil war, but this is going to turn an entire county against you. It has the potential of being that way. And the little one that you were salvaging, you're probably not going to get that anymore, because now you have beat a rod onto the entire county of itself, thinking that they're now thinking that, oh, this president is against us. And I think he did well in Nimba during the 2017 elections. So he should have maintained, should have kept this guy in power, hold on to him, allow him to prevail. Few months from now, and probably after in a cabinet reshuffle, you can see changing him. That's how mature politicians behave. But you get the likes of the Carriers Gray, who are dimwits, don't understand politics for what it is, and faking it like they are Hercules, and people who understand Liberian politics. As it is, sometimes you don't go against one individual that has you haul rope haul bush. This is what this is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. You are
Can
muted.
hear you,
So,
Look, political maturity. This man's whole salary for the next 5 months until election is 20,000. You keep this man on, and you use him as a bait.
An example, yes.
Look, people of Nimba, I have always shown you love. Even when me and Prince Johnson were fighting, I still kept my people. And then you turn around and begin to point to them. Yeah, chairman, yeah. He stayed in my government.
He even went to your program.
When he clapped against me, I said, Nimba, not my place. Everything they did to me, I said, one day I will come to you, I will report. And I want to keep to report and bring the case to you. But I'm here, no, political maturity. But what has happened now? I am one of the young persons in the country. I say young because Cummins 66 and he young. And me, I picky. Because the whole colors been there. I don't want to be inside.
You don't bring colors back. You had a discussion. In fact, I'll find a discussion before we go to the line. We'll talk about the speech. So you want to bring colors business into it. We'll talk about it.
No, they say for the youth. Me, I'm picking. I won't be in the youth to go brush. I just want to eat a food. I won't be brushing no farm. But I'm saying this with all seriousness. I am going to push for a legislation because of what has happened to say that in as much as the president has the power to appoint and cannot just have his appointee go straight to work, that appointee has to be confirmed, correct?
Yeah.
Meaning the person, okay, this man is good.
The legislature, yeah.
In order for the president to fire that person, I want the same process to happen so that person can be unconfirmed. In my opinion, when the person is confirmed, the person is confirmed by the people.
What if the legislature is changed?
Through their representatives. So the people representatives say, this man good for the job. Then you can, one day you just get a swing the money, you got a man slide to your girlfriend's house, you get hell. In the middle of a project, my man, go, I won't see you again.
Then you change the whole constitution.
No, we're not changing the whole constitution.
You will change that part.
See, one time something happened from Freeport, James. Don't call me yet. And you can remember, the man can just say, I don't want to see that person again.
Yeah, when the
Aaron calling what to LRA. Something happened on the boulevard. I don't want to see that person again.
But he's not the first president, though.
No. They planted and not do it. So my point is, if you will send somebody for confirmation, meaning the people do not trust you, so they have to make sure that person is correct. When they say that person is correct, then you must have reason to fire the person. You don't just wake up soon in the morning because the person say, oh, Sis Cloud, we are, how you doing? You get there. Why the man must say, Sis Cloud, we are, go home. We will lose a lot of resourceful people like that. Therefore, if people are confirmed, I say people, you just point waka waka. If they are confirmed, then it's only fair. And let me say this, perhaps you don't know. Do you know that you can be confirmed but not commissioned?
Yeah.
When you are confirmed, you must be commissioned by the president.
Yeah.
I was confirmed, but never commissioned.
Oh, really?
Yes. Me, I don't let it allow.
Hey man, they won't shake your hand, my man, or hand you anything. Not a problem.
It was okay for 3.5 years, no problem. But I'm saying again, I will push for a legislation that say when you confirm somebody and you commission them, just because the John asked about to chase your bee, don't mean you can get out and say they will not be there again no more.
So is this a just imaginary discussion, or you actually running for something?
No. Welcome to the show. We're just having...
You raise some.
I raise some, I ask questions.
And I wanted to...
I raise some, I ask questions, Eugene. I ask questions.
This question I was saying.
I wanted to get your opinion on this. So I'm sure you read that Councillor Cooper Cry was relieved of his position as Minister of Telecom, Postal and Telecom. And we are having this discussion, it's on the radio in Liberia. And a lot of people are saying, well, it was the president's prerogative to fire him because he attended a United Party program in direct insult to the president because the United Party want to get rid of the president. Why would he just be so open about his support to United Party? So they're saying that the president was right to fire him. And some people are saying, no, he was not in his right to fire him because this man is serving Liberia. He's a telecom expert, and he's serving Liberia. He's not just serving an individual. So I wanted to know what are your thoughts on this?
Well, again, that demonstrates the emotional intelligence of our president and the stupidity of somebody like Akaris Gray. Akaris Gray basically probably was influenced to put that information out that, the man is a traitor, the man is a Quisling. A Quisling is somebody who betrays their country, connive with invaders to betray their country. That's not the situation here. It doesn't even rise to that level. He basically accused the guy of treason, and that's not what it is. Isn't this guy a member of the MDR? Okay.
Yeah.
So his political party has a new alliance. Okay. And according to our constitution, I believe every Liberian has equal opportunity for work. I think that Article 18. It says all Liberians shall have equal opportunity for work and employment, regardless of sex, creed, religion, ethnic background, place of origin, or political affiliation. And all shall be entitled to equal pay for such work. So for them to be this petty, that this individual who's providing service to the country is not based on his competency. I don't know. Well, I haven't assessed his performance, right? But I haven't heard any complaint from them about him. So for them to do it just spitefully because he is supporting another political party is so wrong, especially knowing that there were members of the CDC, including President Weah himself, who worked in the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. and members of other opposition parties that work in alien government. So that behavior is just like kind of bush league. It's just immature, and I don't see the reasoning for it. And I hope it will not set the precedent that anybody who is with another party or affiliates with another party and is working in, let's say, the next government, they will be fired. That would be so wrong. So I don't approve of that.
Okay. So it seems like we have a general consensus on the show tonight that many of you are saying that the president behaved in a politically immature way. He should have not fired Councillor Cooper Craft. Yes.
Can I just add one point there? And
Sure.
one of the things you hear is in one of the CDC slogan is the reactionary tendency. They really do have reactionary tendency. Honestly, they are very reactionary. Look, every time they have knee-jerk reaction to things, and they will put it out there. That's why everything keep coming out. They keep spilling the beans, on the set. They overreact to things. And you are a government. You have the most to lose. And you keep fighting people that got nothing to lose. It's just like we have said, like I just wanted to add that last point that we all agree that these guys are reactionaries and they are politically immature.
Yes. So we're gonna move on now to the issue of drugs. We've been talking about how drugs been coming into the country, and that is actually corrupting the minds of our young people. And I want to also say some older people do get addicted to drugs as well. But we do know Liberia consists of a largely young population, and that we saw that $100 million worth of drugs came into our country. And I was reading the Liberian, if you want to give credit to the Liberian Daily Observer, who said that there was a testimony by one of the New Dawn newspaper. He said that the global maritime tracking solution should be held responsible for this $100 million drugs coming into our country because they failed to do their job. He thinks that they should be the first person that should be held responsible. So my question to you guys is there some kind of maybe excuse going on for the government here, or should the government also take blame in this responsibility? Because doesn't this global tracking this global maritime tracking solution that track the shipments of company coming to Liberia, isn't that regulated by the government? So I'm gonna go to you, Fagon, if you don't mind. Let me start with you. This story was published in the New Dawn newspaper, and it's talking about the $100 million cocaine that's coming into our country. And this news writer is saying that the global maritime tracking solution should have tracked this drug coming to our country. And he reported about this, and he doesn't know why nothing came out of it.
Well, first of all, let's correct. It's not 100; it's 140 million. The first 100 was seized, and then the second 40. But there will come a time when we will, because you cannot tell a rogue say, "Go catch a poor happy to break the window." The ringleader of the drug syndicate is the chief law enforcement officer of the country. And I say this with compassion because it is my belief that he is the ringleader. You cannot sit down, a country of 5 million people, and you sit down over a period of 6 years and allow the quantity of drugs to go through. No. But again, holding them accountable and responsible is not something I see forthcoming under this administration. If it was a JMB or a Cummins, they will be held accountable. But under we are, Finabono, Emmanuel Shaw, and Abidjalde, I don't know. A quantity of drugs to that amount cease, and that only 2 people were talking about, and then witnesses. Up to now, that the one that doing that, and the one I think he's either Portuguese or something, for that quantity of drugs, only 2 people. So, Dr. Francine, there will be a lot of people held accountable. There will be companies held responsible. Even Abijari, he will be broke like Cheshire Rat, because all those children you see out there that got affected as a result of the drugs his company brought into the country will get paid. I'm sure at this point, I'm sure he's taking all of his money out of the country, all of his shares and investment out of the country, because it's a George Weah administration. And that is why a lot of people believe that President Weah will go to jail for a long time for either aiding and abetting, shielding criminals, money laundering, drug trafficking, extrajudicial killings, cruel and unusual punishment, etc. So, to answer your question directly, they should be held accountable and responsible, but indeed, under this administration, nothing happens, unfortunately.
So I'm going to go to you, Colonel Remy Gray. Do you think that the government dropped the ball when they gave TRH, the company that supposedly brought the drugs into Liberia, and the Global Maritime Tracking Company is the one that was supposed to track solutions, called Global Maritime Tracking Solution. That's the company that sort of monitor what's going into people's containers and stuff like that. And reportedly, TRH have been getting privileges. They sometimes don't even check the containers. Do you think that we need to strengthen the containers that are coming to our country? The whole company that is monitoring the containers and what's in the containers needs to be strengthened, because this $100 million drug has the capacity of affecting a lot of Liberians in the country, a whole generation.
We can only thank the Americans for being proactive, because as far as I know, they were some of the very first people that reported this matter, just like the cache of arms that entered the country. And but this government is in cahoots with so many other individuals. When these shipments are sent, of course, the global tracking system, one has to ask, who owns it in the first place? Isn't that the same organization the same McGill and others own, or they got some share in there? So, hello, isn't that the government or Mr. Weah? Well, let's go back and look at some of the agents who are responsible for security at the port. Do you know that the police director's brother is the chief of security at all ports of entry, especially seaports? His brother, from mother and father, one blood, control the security of our country, especially ports of entry. So definitely the police chief, who is responsible for security, his brother, and Mr. Weah, come on, this is a dragnet, this is a ring. The only reason why this came out is because, again, the United States was proactive, and who knows, maybe this was the very straw that broke the camel's back that led Mr. Weah to be invited, because these are some of the very narco trade that finances some of this terrorism activity. And the United States is only telling you that we know exactly what you're doing. I remember when before becoming president, Mr. Weah was nabbed over in DC, on some drug-related charges, but I think the guy was sent to jail. And they let him go because they didn't have any kind of tangible proof that he was involved in that. But remember now, he runs the country, and this kinds of situations going on. Maybe now people are beginning to piece one and one together and say, well, really, this guy is using his position, you understand, to traffic. And no matter how the global tracking system is strong, as long as you have a country which is slowly becoming a failed state, anything can go through. This is, I mean, now we can even say we're a rogue state because these kinds of situation don't go on in states that have, stronger laws and stronger police way of policing, you know, goods coming into their country. And I can just imagine how many of those kinds of unusual activities going through our borders that are unmanned. Our borders are just free. You can just walk into some of them hand swinging. And we have canoes. You have probably been up to Cape Mountain. You have scores of canoes coming from Ghana and other places. Who knows? This president has attachment to Ghana, and now they want to put a Ghanaian firm on at the airport. These are all, concerted effort it's a ring. It's a smuggle ring that you have to look into closely in order to be able to make generalization or conclusion. But I think our government hand is in there big. So nobody should be scratching their head that Mr. Ware is unaware of this. Mr. Ware is fully aware of this, and this is a government, conspiracy.
Thank you.
Quickly, 10 seconds, man. Teacher Pepper, I beg you 10 seconds.
Go ahead.
Teacher Pepper.
Yeah.
The British people ain't looking for us.
The
official list. I just put it in the chat room. Y'all go there and scroll through it. Small country like Togo is on the official list. Zambia and all. Then you look up prestigious country like Liberia. We're not on the official list of attendance. And I put it there set. No argument. What did our president leave from our country on Tuesday for? So now he's saying that in Ghana, and he not on the look at Uganda then. Look at Zambia. Sarah, you again, my people.
Put it in the chat room. I see you.
Oh, I said it. Okay, let me say it. I said, oh God. Don't worry, man. They coming in the chat room. Look. This is unacceptable. I will repeat. This is very unacceptable. And I will let you go before they say, Fagon, you always let trouble. I don't let trouble, I let peace. Heads of state and representatives set to attend. Y'all look at you.
I look at you.
Look at it?
Yes.
Look at Sierra Leone there. No, I'm condemning it. Sierra Leone. Togo. You're on the official list. Then people like Ava Tubaden sitting here and cannot even. Look, the British government will have to do better than this. Now you got our president eating banku in Ghana saying that there, waiting for him on the official list to be added. This is you ain't see it? Why is it?
Yes.
Heads of state, representatives set to attend. It starts with the Canadian Prime Minister. The U.S. president said he will not be able to go, but he will be represented by the First Lady and Pamela Harris. They put Togo there. They put Sierra Leone there. You know what, British people? I understand. Our government has been indicted for extrajudicial killings. We told you that man went to the CIA headquarters. We told you, we understood from sources. British MI5 and Mossad were all there. Well, James, could they can't put a list up?
Yes. So thank you.
Put a list up. To say he went to African Development Bank. The meeting has started. Joey said he went to the King Sonny. He called Hassan Fadiga brother to go with him. Yeah, they lazy out. I feel you. I went to SSR.
No, you go to exercise your stay. You can't bring breaking news. You can't
So
just
I never
transition
see
our
the money.
news. You just can't bring breaking news and then go. So I'm going to just ask Liberians going to transition because this news just came in a little bit. We're talking about the $100 million cocaine that came into our country and the global maritime tracking solution. We're supposed to be responsible of making sure that our ports are safe. So I'm actually going to move on to Fadiga and Tupa to discuss their views on, if they want, the drugs that was entering our country. But also, I want you to include what Mr. Falcon just brought up, breaking news as to who's invited to this coronation ceremony, and our president left the country already.
And I put a link there.
You put the list.
Oh, look at the link. My man, about me, I trust people.
Can we discuss that after? Can we discuss that after?
I will look at that link. They will put it in how they call this. Yeah,
look at the link I sent. Just look there, you see Telegram.
I come in look at on my phone.
Yes, but give us your thoughts on and Fadiga, I know you have a lot of experience with people who are addicted to drugs.
I'm gonna put a list in the chat. In the
drugs is the saddest
part. I sent it to you, Aha. I sent it to you.
Okay.
Check
the drugs is the
you must send in the link too.
Yeah. The drugs addiction, people don't know to what extent how far drugs can go and destroy our country. I will test the drugs part later, but sometime this year, you remember when APM terminal was subpoenaed to go to court? Because our team goes through the APM terminal. APM terminal says something very crucial when they went to that hearing. In a way, APM terminal kind of indicted the government in this thing. They shifted the thing. They said they play a minimal role in this whole process. They play a minimal role. They said that the LRA responsible for additional checking. And one of the alarm that was blown was that this company that allegedly brought the drug in the country was just clearing multiple containers on flag receipt. Who at LRA were authorizing this release? Look, with drug dealing, we watch the movie, we see it all the time, but there is always some insider. Nobody will be brave to bring 100 million worth of drugs in a country if they do not have some connection on the ground. Drug dealers are not stupid. They work with federal agents. They work with people in government. They blackmail government officials. They do a lot. They hold some people on the hostage. So I won't be surprised that the government has something to do with it because APM terminal said it. They said it to us that ask the LRA because they are responsible. I think we should get more other guys. I don't ship a lot to Liberia, so I don't know about the custom law, how to do the continuum processing. But APM terminal that was hired to do part of the job said it that we should check with the LRA, and LRA should know more about what is going on. Secondly, drugs addiction. If Liberia is not mindful and will continue to allow this thing, America is suffering right now with this addiction issue. I mean, for some of us that work with addicts and work and see these things on a daily basis, the average age of an addict in America is around 14 years old. And it may shock you that the children start taking drugs at age 14. All the way. So when they started with the gateway, the marijuana, and those small pills, and then it go on to be, it's like a disease. So we have a population of only 5 million people. Imagine a very youthful population. Imagine half of those people getting on the influence of drugs. I mean, it's going to be very hard. We're talking about violent crime. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about so many other things that can arise from it. So it's not just only dangerous for the physical health, but it just pose a serious security risk to everyone that live in Liberia. I remember during the Speculative administration, there was a journalist friend that used to visit Liberia. How to call this guy? I think Johnny Dwyer, the guy that wrote the book for the American Warlord for Chucky Taylor. Taylor. Johnny Dwyer we're always in communication. So Johnny Dwyer had contacted me, and we're talking about all those different things that were going on in Liberia, and we always compare notes about the war, and we end up coming for interview, and we didn't understand something. He even sent me an advanced copy of that book. But Johnny Dwyer, during the Speculative administration, was the first person that alerted me about drug. He said, do you know that heroin is in Liberia? I said, what are you talking about? He said, let me tell you something. Liberia is quickly being overtaken by drugs. This was during the Speculative administration when this guy told me. Over 6, 7, 8 years ago, when Johnny Dwyer told me that story. I'm like, I tell you, sometimes you're in denial, we think that, like, oh, Liberian don't take drugs, we don't do this, that. But let me tell you something. The people that are taking drugs, they are not only in the Zogos, they are all in high places, all will got addicted. Probably some of our officials, that's why they be performing like that, but I'm not pointing finger at anyone. But they say it can happen in Jamaica. But, we're up pointing any finger to a specific person in Jamaica. It can't fail you way. But it's a serious problem, and I think we have to take this serious because it poses a national security risk to our nation.
Thank you, Fadiga. Ava would like to hear your thoughts. And Falcon, can you check the chat room, please? You muted, Ava.
It's really sad that we are caught up in this. When you talk about the global maritime tracking, you're talking about CTN, that continuous tracking number group.
There's a global maritime tracking solution.
That's why it looked like CTN.
That's CTN. I believe that's CTN.
Country, but then there's also a global tracking company. But
CTN is the company, but I believe that's them, but we can confirm it. These are vultures. That company, I don't know what kind of service it really provides for any shipment for them to be charging what they charge. So whatever the service is not clear. And then APM terminal is very clear. It's the people at LRA that really inspect these containers. I had a friend who used to be at LRA on the security side. I was not able to reach him. I had wanted to ask him when this stuff first came out. But most people don't believe that was the first container that came through the country. And then if it's a transit point, how many has come through that it brought attention to the U.S. government for them to start to monitor this thing? And whether we're a transit point or not, some of those drugs will stick on the ground because we got people with sticky hands in general. Most people, money pass through their hand. If you just put somebody to the front of that room and you line 10 people up and get them, say $50, you'll give it to the last man at the end. By the time you get to that last man at $10, because everybody will take us more. And that is the same thing with the drug business. People will skim, people will take off some, and some of those drugs are in the country over time. We are excited that they busted this particular drug, but we don't know. And the way I was reading the case where the other guys said they came for something totally different. Then he made their to him say, oh, they got frozen food, a good business here. What kind of nonsense that you supposedly have come for a different investment opportunity. Then all of a sudden you see a golden opportunity. So really, to say that maybe the products were packed and then the drug dealer then just went to the people where the products came from and just stuck the drugs inside makes no sense. This is a chain. This is a supply chain or drug that is well structured and needs serious investigation. I don't know what kind of support our government is getting in this process, but hopefully our lawyers typically have lost cases, government lawyers, sometimes because of incompetence, sometimes because they are paid off. And it was known when CFOS was there that they were compromising cases and sometimes over prosecuting cases. So I don't know that I have confidence in the government authorities to really, prosecute this case the right way and get these guys guilty. The fact is, whatever, I don't know, 100 or $130 million worth of drugs was supposed to enter our country. If they can't get, what is it?
No, finish off so we can.
Yeah, let me finish. If they can't get some real input, some real confessions about this network, and these guys are probably intimidated because the people on the other side of the water probably threatening them with death if they even speak. So this could be beyond us. We probably need help, and I just hope that the right level of prosecution and the punitive measures and also the preventive measures. What are these shippers? All the money they pay into these different people. What are they doing to protect them? Because the last time when the gun thing came, didn't the guy say he shipped from somewhere he didn't know, the people who put the gun in there and stuff? So if nobody can claim some of these things that are coming through our country, then we are at serious risk and very vulnerable. And what kind of vetting was done for our security forces at these different posts of entry? Some of them have records. Some of them have done things that are not within, the confines of the law. So the whole governance process is just a mess. I hope the Liberian people can wake up to realize that this government is not the solution. Our existence is threatened consistently by the actions, whether it's corruption in negotiation with, agreements or concessions, whether it's at our port of entry, whether it's when they go represent us outside the country, where they bring in, where they don't bring in. So, it's just sad, but we're not in a good place right now.
All right. Dr. Francine had to leave momentarily, but I'm not going to exceed 1 minute. So let me ask the question, and we take 1 minute each around the table, please, because we have to go to the lines and release the guys early. Guys, let's assume without admitting that President Weah was invited, okay, to London for the coronation. 1, government employees have not taken pay for a while. NEC needs money for the election. LEC needs money for electricity. Question number 1. Do you think he should have left for a week to London? Today is Tuesday. 2, and that means he left today. 2, assuming that, yes, he was invited. From Liberia to London is 6 hours. Should he have gone today on the Tuesday, and you got Wednesday? So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days ahead of this visit. Let alone, you've seen the Daily Telegraph from London. He's not even on the list. I gave you guys each 1 minute. Should he have gone today? Or whatever your thoughts are.
Let me go because I'll be running at I gotta run somewhere so quick.
Where you running?
I'm running to check on the president. I worry about my president.
Hassan Fadiga, when your brother come here, he can stay with us.
Nah, Hussein.
Hussein, man, you think we know? Hussein always stay with us, never leave.
Let me say this. Look, in Liberia, this is a very poor nation that really wastes money. Look, if you look at the federal government in America, if you see government buy the least expensive, the least luxurious things in America. Yes, the greatest country in the world that gave us money. Everything in America that is owned by government is basic. The least, basic. If they can do it all radio in it, they would not do it. They would not have radio in it.
Yeah, even a car in a regular car.
Cars there in America that they have here. The basic. Even ticket, nothing is extravagant. Everything is basic. In Liberia, we just waste money that we do not have. So the president is just a minute portion of the wasteful spending we have in government. It's in the legislature. It's all over. Look, here is a man, Madam Sally, who attracted 16 billion foreign direct investment, flew commercial, like even though she did some business class, but she flew commercial plane for 12 years. This man from Gibraltar came to power and went from private jet to pimping. Look, you know the thing about Liberia, I don't think we are ready taught to love that country the way other countries, our neighbors, love the country. I remember when we were making an argument against the Jets, the Chiefs, I still got a recording where the Chiefs, I don't even know whether they not someone in that game playing before. The Chiefs in the villages was saying, our son, and then that's why you need a plane, you go get it. I don't even know what they thought about this. The Chiefs, all the elders were in the villages were telling the president to get plane in Liberia. We got a video a couple of years ago when we started that private jetting. That guy did not rest until whether he purchased it or he renting it. Either way, it's still expensive. This guy could be taking commercial at Erling. Erling attracted 16 billion and still flew commercial.
You got another minute.
We saw the man that came to power and built a whole city in barely 6 months. Other leaders will say, where I'll go for my second term. So you think, we know the solution. The solution is in October. Kick this guy out. Get together. Opposition, come together. Put your ego aside and remove this kakistocracy. That is the solution. Liberians, you have the power. This is the one day that our constitution has set aside for you to exercise your power. Use it. You cannot keep using the Liberian people money like your own money. People believe that the government money is so round that it has no end. So they can abuse it any kind of way. So why would he say the man flying private jet? The man left the country for 43 days, came back with empty hand. When anyone out of the country, we push our more when the Omar coming, we saw the money. For the other papa, when he go out of the country, he come out nothing. The children hungry. You leave them hungry, you go out, you come out in the country, they stay hungry. What kind of country is this? They tell right, you cut a speech for all. What kind of father is that? I would say that useless father.
All right.
You have a choice to get rid of this father. And that's October. I will leave you guys. Sorry I have to run, but it was nice chatting with you guys. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Al Hussein. Good day. If you're around, please go to the chat room. The first group of the presidential delegation arrived in London, and the game between Arsenal and Chelsea today, we are told, we are receiving information, they watched the game. The advanced team, headed by Len Eugene Nangbe. We got photographs to that effect. Len Eugene Nangbe, if you want to call, you and your buddies, we're going to put the pictures up. There you go, Len Eugene Nangbe. The Liberian people money. Y'all went to watch Arsenal and Chelsea game. Arsenal, when I left the game, second half, Remy Gray, Arsenal were leading Chelsea 3-0. And there, the president, first batch of men, headed by Eugene Nangbe, he's there at the Arsenal game with his buddies. This is our government.
Good news.
We'll go to you, Remy Gray, and then we'll go to Azebat Tupa, and then we'll go to the phone lines.
Good news. I'm an Arsenal fan. I didn't watch that game today, though. But good. That's the only good news. I'm an Arsenal fan, my brother. Hopefully,
Chelsea 3. I didn't know how the game ended.
You know, my brother. Alva was talking about whether they vetted these people. Good question. Now you should look at the deputy that replaced, or even I think the port director that replaced. What's his name? The guy who was over there. Twe. So that guy has a big record here in the States, and these are folks who were accused of shipping people cars, rental cars. They rent the cars, and then the next thing they put it on the ship, and they have a way of smuggling vehicles out of here. But Bill Twelly, I guess the guy who replaced him. But go and check. I mean, but when Fumba was at NSA, I know they foiled quite a huge cache of narcotic, and I think as chief spy of the Republic of Liberia, they were able to make some gains through the Americans again. But I'm only saying that this government is not even pushing towards that direction. So pretty much. But let's go back. Maybe my opinion about the list that came out could be probably members of the Commonwealth. And Liberia, as far as I know, is not a member of the Commonwealth. But if that is an official list of countries that were invited and Liberia is not there, then one has to ask why. But as far as I know, the names I'm seeing, I've cross-referenced them. They are mostly um, members of the Commonwealth. Prove me wrong. But let's go back to this president traveling um, out of the country. This is the only moment Mr. Weir can get away, number one, from this whole pressure on him. And then secondly, this is another way they can lift the country's resources unquestioned. So they will always take advantage of it. You can have 5 different traveling, opportunities for Mr. President. He will take the bulk of them. They were just somewhere a few days ago with Findabundo wearing sneakers at the same time wearing, funny way and dressed out there as though there was some Santa Claus or someone who call not unrepresentative of our country. I'm only saying this, my brother, that
1 more minute.
This president has proven time and time again that they're bored. They got nothing to do because they don't know the job. So anytime these kinds of moments come forward, they jump on it first place. And any small resources out there, you think these people care whether or not civil servant get paid? They don't care. All they care about is just use this moment to either go position their loots abroad and so on and so forth. So this is a brilliant opportunity for them. They will always jump on it. They could care less. They come back. They know it's the regular noise. In the market, we just talk a little bit. Few weeks is dead. Then they develop another trip. They go back. We just talk. So as Al says, October. There you go. Replace this funny thing we call government from our lives.
Thank you. We'll go over to Isaac Batupa. Can you call the guys in the studio, James, to get ready?
Yeah, it's like we've been singing.
We can go to the lines and ask the question of the day.
It's like we've been singing song for years, man. These guys don't care for they don't care for the people. What was the song? What was the song you were singing today? That means Sopoto, and then I saw you were singing the other day.
That means supposed to be here while they went watch Arsenal game.
I tell you, man.
That means supposed to be in the ministry when they pay for 3 months. But the president not serious.
Unnecessary travel.
The president going, let's all come answer tomorrow. And when I say come answer, nobody go to work tomorrow. Nobody.
But wait now, what do you mean come answer? The people normally don't go to work. When the president going, they really don't go to work.
But tomorrow we'll make it apparent. Everybody just stay home.
People don't
get paid for 3 months, I say. Then somebody go and watch.
I believe that other talk, man. You can't tell me the point being paid for 3 months in the country.
Some point even take pay for 6 months, the contractor then. Some point they owe in 2 months. Some point 3. US dollar, they can't even see it.
I would say that lie until they can count us out and say it. I saw one other group protesting the other day, right? Now for salary.
All over the ministry, the poor vet, transport. The way the president gone, we count us out. Tomorrow we count us out and add 12 for our money. Because 12 there, so 12 will get our money. Then the
you're not among the employees. Let me feel you're not among the employees until you can go back and get job with the people there.
All right, I'm going back tomorrow. Go ahead, let's finish your 1 minute.
Yeah. So at this point now, what is it? May, June, July, August, September, So it's like 5 months, 10 days. I don't think we all die in our time.
No.
If the Liberian people cannot make the right decision in our time, when it comes October 10th, for me, I would just say, I would not give all the country, I would give all the people. Like my heart, like brother, my heart. But I would give up on the people, not the country. Maybe the next generation, when they start coming, we start saying how we can help the babies there. But I'm telling you, if you cannot see that you are being abused, you can see the fraud, the waste, and the abusing government resources. You remember the word GR? I mean, Remy.
Yeah.
Now
Government issue.
Government issue.
That thing was a free thing, the one that didn't have much value. That was government thing, like he said, like Hussein said, government will go with the lowest cost here. Okay, so for them to be operating that way with total impunity, I mean, pure heartlessness, with regards to the Liberian people, and the Liberian people don't see it, and we have a whole bunch of young people are just so into the homage and sycophancy mode. You can't even take them from there. They don't even believe the suffering part because they have never seen anything else, or nobody has painted that picture of what life could be like for them if the government were functioning properly. So the president should not have made a trip, for one. I look at the list. There are 21 African countries on there. And maybe, like Remy said, majority of them were from the British Commonwealth. But I'm sure there were other countries,
Hey, other countries there. I'm not British.
Yeah, other countries are there. So for we can't give any excuse about it. They're not on the list. I don't know what they're doing there. Maybe they got secret last minute invitation. Maybe, but I heard that destination is the United States. I don't know when they come to the United States. So again, I don't know whether he got a 200,000 from Twitter or that different money they got for the other trip.
He got it from Twitter.
Okay. So again, our resources are just being wasted.
Well, and the funny thing about the picture, James put that picture back up. They only one wearing thick jacket in spring, and all of them wear astronaut scarf. I know they can see the point get on scarf. Or in the picture behind them, they see anybody with scarf. All of them go wear you.
I mean, maybe a cool for the people.
They came from hard country, but you can be wearing astronaut thing and you go put green hat on.
Everybody in that picture.
I want to see my man follow Eugene Nangbe. I think they ought to put a hat in their face, but it's not important. Let's go to the full line. Let's go to the phone lines. James, the question today: should the president have made the trip amidst the fact that people don't have salaries, things are tough in the country, no money for elections, no money for LEC? Should the president have made the trip this early? Nelson Colette,
okay.
I like the way you dressed tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Falcon.
Yeah, you impress me all the time with your dress code.
Yeah, now the rare code there. Let me announce the numbers. Folks out there, you can call in to the program by dialing the number 0776 1010 75 0776 1010 75, and then you can form part of the program tonight. We take our first call. Good evening. You're live.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, go ahead.
I need to go for the query for local content.
From Lofa County, yeah, go ahead. Let's see.
No, let me tell the guys, the student figure, and Falcon in order to make up things. The most important thing are not to be discussing president. We are sorry. The president went to spend 48 days, and when he came back, you saw the people welcome him. And you don't even know what is happening here.
Okay, thank you.
How the president, the president, are there important issues discussing?
Thank you very much. Let's take this person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're live.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on your platform tonight. This is Evangelist Otis Call. But I personally want to address my concern to Eugene Falcon tonight. I have followed him. I admire his output, his analysis. But whenever we're talking about country, I think we need to be very sincere. because prior to CDC coming to power, he made a lot of analysis that I follow, questioning President Salih Assad, talking about ship landing of the nautical man, the Liberian people not receiving the right diet. And he talked a lot about CDC government. All of a sudden, I came across another video where he spoke against Bwaka, and I felt very disappointed. You understand me? So now today, he's saying that he has shifted his loyalty to Bwaka. I think Eugene Facon, if Liberian people should take you serious, I'm calling on all Liberians, whether in and out of Liberia, you need to apologize to the Liberian people because that is deception.
Thank you.
Thank you. Deception.
Thank you very much. Good evening. You live.
Sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Finally, this is Amuska. I did join the conversation.
Bobby, your line is not clear, so maybe you can just change your location and call back. Please do that. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to this phone talk.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Let me say thanks to you this wonderful evening. Let me say good evening to your studio panelists from the diaspora. Mr. Fago, good evening to you. Good morning to you from NASA.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. You know, in the first place, my name is Mohammed M. Kanachion Tonek. I speak even District 16. The seven Balasa Community Dwala Bias Military School. Let me applaud the panelists for the analysis. You know, in the last closing, I listened to even on the Falcon or he spoke very well. Like even you're making measure about people not taking pay for it. It is true, okay? You know, my brother, even the spoon team, I want for the spoon network or the spoon to even fix it. Okay, the group also on the same office on Maple Street. That institution is directly under the supervision of the current vice president. Okay, people are complaining over there.
Okay.
Okay, go visit that institution. Okay, more than 4, 5 more now. The people they are not even taking pay from the vice president office.
Thank you.
Institution.
Thank you.
It is very much bad. It is very much disgraceful to the part of the leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for your contribution. Hello, you live.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. One of the followers. I'm Gomo M. Kamara calling from Shekota.
Go ahead, Kamara.
Okay. But better. It affects the nation. You have done it for all. We have done it for me. I was here when the election took up until. They imagine come on the pay. Come here, said all day. The people look for it. You know, when you're looking for help, they help. We look for it, come on the pay.
Okay.
He refused. The president refused to go for the pay. He never promised anybody. He asked his role, he never promised the people anything.
Thank you.
Sunday, we we accept him, we vote for him. If you're looking for help, what would they help? We will just take the asset up on our country. It's not suffering. It's not after care all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Hello. Good evening. You live.
This is Mohammed Gitawe. I'm calling from Cardam District 14, one of the people defenders.
Go ahead, Mohammed.
Thank you very much. You know, one notion in the country, like what Britain like brought to be like this today, Pacos. People only think that you can only wear in government before you leave. On the Facon that campaign vigorously to bring CDC their government to power. When he bring the government to power, because what you wanted, maybe he never get it. Today he has turned to better critics of the government. Even if you're supposed to Joseph Baga, what will do to the like when president government really? I mean, they go no longer president. We have said no stepping in politics.
Thank you.
Now the government for the people. For you to be criticizing the government every day, it will not help you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution.
Let's keep with the question about the trip. And then we can find another day for me to face these people.
Okay.
At least let's stay with the trip. We're going outside.
Okay, so to all of you now calling, you have to stay in the confines of the discussion.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're saying something?
Yes, I was just saying that you have to remain in the confines of the discussion tonight.
Yeah,
so go ahead, make your point.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay, sir.
Hello? Am I live?
You are live. You're on the radio.
Okay, my name is Joseph.
Joseph, the line is breaking you. Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
Okay, go ahead now. You live.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Kennedy again. I'm going to say my colleagues, my friends, and Falcon, the panel supporting Baka today, which we have for him all criticizing Baka. And any media honestly today that nothing can stop the president for re-election for
Okay.
Nothing. The president will be re-elected. We can't be broken Baka in power. It is great.
Thank you.
What is the Baka have done for the country?
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead. You live.
Yeah, my name is Momo Kanan calling from Kowa.
Momo, go ahead.
Yeah, my brother, you all know that the president always good at taking the country money and go lavish it all around and far away that you will not bring it back. Maybe at the end of the day, when you bring back that drugs, you bring back into the country. So our brother must suffer and die. And I pray to God, those who all embrace the government for the president, they are children of good.
No. Let's take this person. Hello? Hello, you live.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Bobby Meska. I do join the conversation this evening from District 6 SD Koporo.
Go ahead.
But let me appreciate the panelists this evening for the top level discussion. But nothing you see, it is clear that President Weah does not have love for the country. Did you imagine Nelson? Civil service have not yet taken paid. Then the president is wasteful, is spending money. President now, as we speak, Africa acquire our land. That's coming to power sharing on electricity. Liberia on that need praying for rain to fall, just for the heart to get forth, so they can get current. The man is not care for the downtrodden masses. The man has lost the taste for the country.
Thank you.
Because he got incompetent. That is the reason Liberia and Makama voted to see how best that they can make the food man one president.
Thank you very much.
He gross incompetent for the presidency, and we must show the cover to all Liberians to not vote for this president. The president has no love for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. You live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Spoon Network. And let me say good evening to the Liberian people. You know, this is Titi Jerome. You thank very much for the platform this evening. I listened to Honorable Falcon. You know, Falcon spoke lengthily this evening. You know, what all Falcon has said, when you look at it, 75% of Falcon saying it is true within the Republic of Liberia. My dear friend and brother, you guys are in the diaspora, but what is unfolding in our country, it is very, very desperate. Very, very desperate, my brother. My brother, what I want to tell the Liberian people, I'm begging every one of us, let us go to the pool and see how best we can vote the young man out. We are suffering. That get rid of him. Totally to the pool. You thank very much.
Thank you for your contribution. We take this person here. Good evening. Okay, we'll go to this line. Hello? Good evening.
Hello.
Go ahead. You're live.
Okay, this is Sabine S. The member of CYM, and our goal is to make George Weah a one-term day to 2023. Good evening to you all, the school journalists, and good evening to our honorable man, Mr. Fagon. And this is why we thank you so much, Mr. Fagon, because you give our breakfast with information all of the time. It's so kind. Good evening to our very listeners. Okay, that you people ask one question to that. Was it for Mr. Weah to have lived the country at this time of this?
Thank you.
The question, the answer is no, right? But all of those things happening, only because this never Mr. Weah, this guy has no government. This is why we were telling people, this decision you are about to take, it will haunt you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Absolutely no understanding. Therefore, it's completely empty. You have not educated, you have no understanding of government. So now you come on to 2023 as the week in that day, your right will be poo, and then your water will be pee.
No. Let's hold it there and take this person. Hello, you live.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You're live on the radio.
Yes,
This is Lawrence Lauren. I'm joining from Province.
Lawrence, go ahead quickly, sir.
Yeah, you know, UG Falcon, they are not serious. They say UG Falcon.
Hello. Okay, so let's take this person here. Hello, go ahead. You live. Good evening. Yes, go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
Okay, how are you doing?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're live on the radio, sir.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you people for the topic on the discussion. But one thing that I wanted to say is that, you know, UG or Falcon, they knew the right thing at the time. But for me, I believe that they did follow the cry. That's why the right thing, they didn't put it into place, because they knew that this government was in the right government. But because the masses went for the government, I believe that's why they went as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take this person now. You just coming. Oh, good evening. Go ahead now, sir. Please say your name and where you're calling from. Yes, go ahead. Oh, okay. This person left the line. We take this person here. Hello?
After this person, we'll take two more, and then the international line.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead. We take this person. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Jara, and I'm calling from Johnson.
Yeah, go ahead, Jara.
Yes, the only thing I get to say today on the platform is that if you like it, you not like it, like 12 years old. If you like it, you not like it, like 12 years old. Thank you for sure.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution tonight on the program Spoon Talk. Let's take this person here. Good evening, you live. Good evening, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, you live.
Yes, as I said previously.
Yeah, please reintroduce yourself. Please reintroduce yourself because you weren't on when you tried. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Charles Steve Gonga Jr. And honestly, I want to be very straightforward with this issue about Liberia politics and what is going on in Liberia. We understand our country has been into too many things for the past years. At this point, we need people with love. When we talk about love, natural love for country. Natural love for country. People just passing around and doing things in their interest. And you know, I see people calling on this platform and praising Falcon and other people on this platform. They don't need to be praised because Falcon, the Fatiga, and these guys, they're all seeking their own interest.
Can you speak to the discussion, the conversation tonight, the trip? That's what the team is discussing.
We understand our president always leave this country and come back to the country with empty hands. He just go out, spend the Liberian people resources, and walk back to this country with his hands swinging. We understand that Jawia, he's done already. The CDC government is done already. There's nothing for us to be talking about CDC. My only disappointment is in people from Unity Party and people from the rest of the other opposition group. You know, let me just be frank with you, my brother. It's so disheartening and hurtful to see Liberia going the trends that we are taking at this point.
Okay.
And I want to be very clear on this platform that if we not be careful in our country will go back in the hands of Prince Johnson that Falcon on this platform is promoting.
Okay.
Fatiga on this platform is promoting. And I definitely disagree with those two guys on this platform.
Thank you.
Supporting the Unity Party government at this point.
Thank you very
Party elections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother, for your contribution. Hello, you live. Hello. Good evening. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, thank you. For the public, this is John D. Kamba, and I'm comfortable around the Simple River this evening.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me say good evening to Honorable Eugene Falcon, and thank you for the information that you just brought up to the Liberian people on the issue of this president toting tons of money to take it to to the English land, which of course you are not invited. And Falcon, thank you for also for the information that we check on our list. Liberia is not there. And currently, as we speak, information telling us that Mr. Muya is in Ghana and the advanced team are watching football game up there. That is a clear indication. If you are gone there for a purpose, what will you go do on football field?
Thank you.
My brother, that country, we are in a mess. So October 10, Liberia need to wear their iron shoe and kick those people at their behind and let them get away from this.
Thank you very much. Hello, you live.
Really?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. The last caller now.
I need to try a call from Drawson. Let me first of all congratulate the panelists because phone level had rebrand or panelists on the platform. But to the subject, you know, recently we all up there for Waka and Youngly TK. Or Joseph Queen Merge. Well, what we say here is that even though the city, one for poor first the city for us to invest and test and that shit we are in.
Okay.
Now we are watching Yombi Kanga and the rest of them. Any attempt to leave the train will have been.
Okay. We lost him there. Okay, so Mr. Falcon, I think we done with the callers here.
I don't know.
Want us to take more calls.
Thank you very much, Nelson Colette. James, you got a foreign number you want us to get 4 calls?
Yeah. The number is already here. Let me pin the number. So those of you listening, you can call the number +231 555 11 11 99 or check the screen. You're going to see the number right on your screen. Hello? Good evening. Welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Umaru, and I'm calling you from London, in England.
Okay, sir. Go ahead. Make your point.
Right. The comment coming to the UK, for us, we are extremely delighted. I don't have any political affiliation. Let's make that clear. But if one thing this government can do for Liberians in the UK, the more relationship Liberia can have with the UK is in our interest. So, government taking this opportunity to come to this King coronation is a positive thing for us Liberians within the UK. So, if that's a benefit from us as a Liberian, I think that's a wonderful thing because as I said, we don't have any Liberian embassy in Liberia, UK embassy in Liberia. So, it's a positive thing, to be honest.
All right.
So if we can get anything out of it, let's make the most of it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get this. Hello.
Hello.
What is your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Tommy. I'm calling from Virginia. I just wanted to talk a little bit, give my contribution. I know Minister Bagon said we should talk about the trade, but if y'all can just allow me, I want to talk a little bit about the drug issue. But listen, this stuff is a serious issue. We cannot afford for substance abuse to become an epidemic in Liberia. I'll give you a quick statistics. I live in Virginia. I work for the government here. We spend almost $500 million a year on substance abuse prevention, and on average, 2 people die every day on substance abuse in Virginia. That's just in Virginia alone. In Liberia, we don't have the facility, we don't have the money, we don't have the willpower to help prevent this thing. Spoon, everybody on there, I buy all of you guys. This has to be a daily topic. We cannot afford to have a drug epidemic in Liberia. Please push it. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with political affiliation. We have to talk about this. Every community member, everybody.
All right, sir. Thank you.
We need to talk to our young people about substance abuse prevention.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Hello.
We're taking one more, James. One more.
All right. Hello. Okay. +231 555 11 11 99 is the number you can call to make your point. Good evening. Please do I monitor. Please do I monitor. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
This is Project the way I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio.
Make a point.
I just want to say to the panelists there that, you know, this president, you always travel out of the country, bring nothing to the country. It would be good to know that this president has traveled in his 6th year more than President Selihu, who had 12 years over time. The president has traveled. And the guy never brought nothing to our country. Useless travel all the time. And ripping our covers.
Thank you. Hello. 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 Come in, let me get this caller before we call it a day. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yes. My name is Sidiki Musa Musukula Dore. As a matter of fact, I'm the campaigner to make ambassador for our president, and I'm calling you from Monrovia, this evening.
Make a point, 1 minute.
Thank you ever so much. We all understand that our president always traveling from other countries with money and coming back with nothing. But we hope and pray that the Liberian people, who are especially the opposition bloc, will hold together and give this president a one-time vote, a one-time vote. And to the issue of the drugs, quickly. The drugs situation in Liberia, you know, I represent the disadvantaged youth. As an executive director of former organization, I resigned from the organization and want to get into politics because we have tried, we fought. In fact, people who exposes people who are involved with drugs. We are now people marking all the days trying to harm us. We can't do nothing about it. We just safeguard ourselves, keep our own self more new. So we can't keep sitting in our own country, scared and look at the wrong thing going. So I think we'll go the political way after politics and all of them come back to ourselves. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all right.
That's it.
All right.
We'll now go over to Colonel Remy Gray for his closing. 2 minutes. We want to be on time. And we'll go over to Ava Tupa.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. I think every day our show is getting better, and we came on this platform and we also advise the individuals to hang in there. Sometimes changes are good. We all bring our strength and passions onto the show, and definitely some of us have wealth of experience in other areas, and that people can readily exploit. I admonish the last caller, or I admire the last caller who called and made the clarion advice that we should pay attention to this drug issue in Liberia. When a nation is gripped by drug epidemic, definitely the future of our kids, is directly challenged. We all work in those kind of corridors where people who should have done better for themselves, they would, the entire youthfulness, just taken away from them. Here in the U.S., they have more advanced type of drugs that people are taking. Fentanyl is top on the list, and but Liberia, just imagine all kinds of stuff coming through unhindered. And if we have a government that actually, is part of that dragnet, definitely. What else? Just imagine what every time I go to Liberia, when I park my car, the boys that will come to wash it or clean it up. I look at them. They probably need money for food. I mean, that's what I would think. But sometimes, definitely the same money you're trying to help someone with because you feel for them, it's the same money probably they'll use to go and to pamper their their drug habit. But there's absolutely no program in place. I think Ivor used to talk about it way back, even just before this government came to being, that we have to pay attention to that group of people. And I tell you, if those people reach 1 million, 1,500,000, we have a voting bloc that will vote a Zogo. Nothing you can do about it, because we have a democracy where majority vote. And if they decide that one of their own will be president one day, he just needs to run. What else? They're going to vote a Zogo. Can you do anything about it? No, you can't, because the law does not exclude someone from running because they are they're an addict or someone who lives on drugs. So we have to pay attention to this. My own closing here would say, I agree with the caller that say let's pay attention to this. Here in the United States, it's really, really a menace. And we have a president who goes in the public, whether he's falling because he's ill or whether maybe he's drunk, or maybe high on something. And this is not the first time I've seen Mr. Weir, really slumbering or dragging his speech. When you have slower speech, the only thing that we can say is you are high on something. Remember when they had the Blue Day? Just go back and watch that tape. The president was high. And we had a retreat. The president is high. And so as a result, we have a country where drug is coming in unhindered. We really need to be able to step up and change the government, first thing, which is the first place to start, through the ballot box, move them from there, and bring somebody more sober that will bring sanity to our country and our future population. Our kids themselves are calling for help. They're helpless right now. You can see them sometimes, they take on the podium, they say, we don't need money, we need help.
Thank you.
They're helpless.
Thank you. Aziba Tukpa?
Can't hear you. No.
You are muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute. Thank you. Well, first, before I get into my topic, I just want to extend my sincere sympathy to the family of Nawe Gumet. Nawe was a journalist. He was a very great guy, enthusiastic and excited about the role he was playing in the media, and just helping to expose the minds of the Liberian people. So it's a loss, I'm sure, to the press union, to those who interacted with him, and especially his family. So my sincere sympathy. And I also want to send congratulations to Owen Papo. I don't know the young man, but he was drafted in the NFL. And when you look at the possibility of an athlete being drafted, in his age group, let's say when it started from 6, 7 years old, whatever time playing, probably like nearly 1 million plus athletes. And for him to come and be in our final number that gets drafted in the NFL is a major accomplishment. So all Liberians who are making it in pro sports, all parents who have youth children, playing college sports, all the other people who play scholastic sports and even younger in the AAU circuit. It's not an easy journey. I was a sports parent, taking my kids everywhere, track, basketball, soccer, and it takes a lot. So stay focused, help your children be student first and athlete second. But there is a reward if they are, good athletes and the opportunity is there. So hats off to those parents. With regards to where we are as a country, especially with the drug situation, Al Hussein referenced it is affecting the kids in America. But there is a system here. There is rehabilitation opportunities here. There, the government pumps in a lot of money into helping them. In Liberia, the CDC came to power to help those people. I don't know what successful rehabilitation or just a support program for those people that's consistent that has ever been implemented. Reverend Caleb Doma started all this organization called Zogos We Care. I don't like the name Zogos, but unfortunately, that is the name of the organization and how to refer to it as anything else. Sometimes I say ZWC, but he has been there. We have been running along with him, being in the ghettos, trying to do health programs with them. On Sunday, every Sunday, he goes to some ghetto to, provide prayer service and at least try to enrich and nourish their souls. But there are grandchildren in the ghettos now. The children born in children in the ghettos. So, and there's a ghetto cropping up near around most of the schools in a lot of neighborhoods. Now in the outlying counties, they are there. In the Congo settlements where, a lot of people were not before, they are there. So this is not an easy problem to solve. And if you have a negligent government that is not interested in solutions or in cleaning the hearts and minds of the people, it will not happen. That's why even Mr. Cummins' platform of engaging hearts and minds, he's really concerned with rehabilitation. He's concerned with training these people and training them up to get some level of skills for them to get out of that ghetto. And it's just so critical that so many of our young people are being, lost, and no opportunity for them to come back. Nobody counseling them. Nobody providing proper treatment. They probably sometimes they will try to pump all the drugs from in the system. But what are they coming back to? There's nothing when they come back. Those who really want to try, most times there's no system or supporting cast out there that can help them reform their lives and reintegrate. That's why sometimes I'm so upset with the period from 2003 up to elections in 2005 with the rehabilitation and reintegration program where they just ate that money. If we really want to set our country right, we got to go back in time and audit some of these things and find out who the rogues that have caused our country to be so desolate, to be so desperate at this point in time. And this government definitely is not helping it. If the Liberian people are crazy to re-elect this government, it just points to the Stockholm syndrome. They don't like themselves, they love abuse, and the country would really, really be set back. Right now, to be honest with you, we're nearly like 200 years from any real development. Just our roads alone to get them right is about $2.5 billion to $3 billion. It's not easy money to get. Before we talk about the mindset, we talk about the development of the youth. So it got to be progressive, and it got to be with people who are committed to doing those things. So if we can elect people who have the capability and who committed to change, we are in serious trouble. Thank you. You're on mute, Eugene.
I'd like to thank James Goodday Flomo. I'd like to thank retired Colonel Ed Remy Gray and the Honorable Isaac Van Tukpa Jr. I'd like to thank you guys. Let me say to the callers out there, in 2017, it's not that we followed the wave. We want a change. We want a change from all the hula baloos. Little did we know that the guy that was coming ahead of us to change things wouldn't do his job. Instead, he would turn to extrajudicial killings, drug proliferation, money laundering, corruption. And the fact that all of us came together, you expected us to stay there? Your argument is flat. Wise man changes. And if you want to stay with a guy who killed somebody and go with him to the nightclub, I'm not talking about the president we are now. I'm saying if you have a friend who will kill your neighbor, and then you say, my man, let's go to the club and dance, then who are you? If you're going to call your friend and say, my man, come to my house today, and he gave your children drugs to take, you're going to say, oh, that's my friend, so it's okay? If your friend comes to your house and steals your money, you will say, because I know you, it's okay? If that's your thinking, that's not my thinking. The president should have stayed today. Joe Biden, who got all the money, He said, let my wife go. And the vice president. No money in the country, no US dollar. You leave the country on a Tuesday to go to a country that is just 6 hours away from you. Just 6. You leave on a Tuesday. You hang out in Ghana. Wednesday we come, nobody know where you at. Thursday we come, nobody know where you drinking. Friday we come, nobody know what you doing. The coronation on Saturday, that you were not invited, you're not on the people official list. Who called you there? I have every right as a citizen of the country to believe that President Weah was invited by the MI6 and the MI5. Because I had a key here to the CIA headquarters, nobody knew about the trip. You say you're coming to coronation, you're not on the list. We will be spying to the MI5 and MI6 headquarters. If we see you there, we know you were there, we'll talk about here. I respectfully submit. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure having all of you guys. Good day. Thank you for calling one of your friends. You say you didn't call. Nelson Colette, no matter what happens, you can't beat Baron Kosu. And I can tell you, when Good Day comes to the country with a Polish suit, y'all know the difference between Poland and Montreal.
Today, Nelson's birthday.
Nelson will want to say happy birthday, but look at me. Let me so, brother. The last time I chatted 2 minutes saying now, they can't sing. But I can sing one song for you. Just wait. Anybody can join me. Let's do this thing. We'll sing for you. Those who can sing, you will hear their voice. Look at the one coming, record me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Colette. Happy birthday to you. May you get some tonight.
That Nelson birthday?
May you get some tonight. May you get some. May you get some. May you get some tonight.
Yeah.
And many people say, may you get some tonight. Call Abba will tell you.
They got a young man, he eating so to be triple tonight, boy. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I see ya. I go. Hey, young man like you're eating so to be what?
Triple.
Wow. That one, but I don't understand it.
And here's to the wise.
But being over your age, that other quadruple, quintuple.
That quadruple, man. That quadruple. What?
You know, guys, let me tell you, the difference between your Colette and our generation?
Mm-hmm.
Our generation, we follow the guys around. Lamar Bouti, Sheila, Black and White, Coconut, Panestar, we learn. But the war never get your people to take you through the ranks and files.
Yeah.
That's why you guys always arguing with us. But y'all know what's up. Y'all will pass the girl and say, excuse me, fine boy, can I ask you a question? But y'all can power to the train. Look at all of them.
You sure? You sure?
Gee, what you want to say?
Okay, which network y'all can go to in Labrador? Don't call, I know they say Calabasho. And that network, that resort.
We don't have to go to nightclub.
That resort. Show me your network where you can be standing outside, taking your beating for in your coat.
We don't have to go to nightclub.
You don't get no
James.
They got Aero Jew, they got school Jew, they got all kind of Jews. Nobody need to go to that club. So
I mean, I see
I'm just.
They go to bar, they go to Samoa.
I'm just saying they actually did miss out.
Yeah.
And right now, the way times are hard, it's even worse. You know, so I feel sorry for this young generation.
I feel sorry for them.
They don't explore enough. They're not able to really, get to the full talent level.
Ask you a question.
Yeah.
That would I mean.
But we stay enjoying them.
Who asking question again?
You can say, in a primal way you are enjoying it. It's different. It will always be enjoyment. Just the different levels of enjoyment.
Good day, what you know is what you get.
For not enjoyment,
What you get is what you know. What you know is what you get.
Yeah.
But if we compare the two systems, man, we ball, man. We had the ball of our life.
I said you can't even walk on the sidewalk.
But look at how restricted they are. How many hours of productivity of that?
You know what they call P Avenue?
Oh, man.
You can't even walk in the estate. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Everything you're talking about, and thing.
President used to be driving his car for open top. You see, hey, yo.
My man, Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Beverly Cinema was up there. Now the balling spot up there.
Message
Wow,
me
splendid.
Nelson. Let me send you late 25 hours for your beer for tomorrow because today gone already.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nelson, go in the chat room and put your number there. Let me send you something to you.
No, let Dr. Francine do it. She good day will play. Good day, I beg you. Just good day. No.
The man voluntarily say he will get a message, and then he say somebody else will do it.
Now what? Let's see. That good day won't join in from because the man are in the chat room. Good day say I will send it.
I'll use that number on SendWave and send you something right now. But put it in the chat room.
Anyway, I in the chat room, so just send it to me. Good day got my number.
CEO.
Okay,
You put that thing in good day.
Thank you.
If you know that land called outside the bank of the river in Warsaw, you know what they call Warsaw?
You have never been to Warsaw. Stop it.
I see you.
Okay, sir. Okay, folks. James, what you say?
I said, Fakon was going to talk like he living in Warsaw. And he started back of the river.
First, we want to say thank you so much to all of you tonight for your contribution on Spoon Talk. Thanks a lot. The program will be back tomorrow, same time. The invitation is just to join us. Until then, bye-bye.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon